Oh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Garu.
And this is the Nerdy.
The Wordy.
The Book Club.
Echo,
with
echo,
extra
echo.
audio. How we doing today, Shay? How we doing?
How we doing? Good morning.
How you doing?
How this is actually not Dune.
This
one we've not been Dune
is
yet.
not Dune.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Unless Vivenna becomes Lisan al-Gaib in the final section here.
There's actually a prophecy about her becoming a messiah, her own religion.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
That was created by her father using spice to make his testicles magical. 28 months of book club. Blue, thank you so much.
Freaking wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's over 2 years.
Don't say it like that. Blue, thank you so much. Also, hi, Fabu. I see you over on the Twitch. Thank you for that subscription.
Michael Kioski's near, breaker, far, breaker, wherever you are, breaker. I believe that this book's kind of boring.
I believe this book will go on and on. There you go. Yeah. Good morning, chat. How you doing?
Here, there's no plot I fear.
There's minimal plot.
I am assuming that we had to read this book because it's like relevant to the Cosmere because Hoyd showed up this week.
Well, fucking Hoyd, the fucking magic traveling interdimensional space being.
God damn it, Brandon Sanderson. We're 420 pages in. Add some goddamn movement.
Yes. You know what? That'd be nice.
It's not bad. Here's the thing. It's not bad. It's really not. It's just really fucking boring. It's like, it's interesting elements that have been like...
I don't find it boring. I find it frustrating.
I would rather something be boring than frustrating. But.
I guess. That's fair.
Arzu, thank you for being a member for 17 months.
Arzu, thank you. We'll be doing a book club bingo, and I will call the options in chat. Join the game. Did you guys gamify book club today?
I want to be very clear. We did not have anything to do with book club bingo. That is a you thing.
For legal reasons, we are not.
That is 100% a you thing.
Gamble at your own risk. No. Are you placing bets on this? Like, is there like stakes on the line or cake?
I want to be very clear that because we are in the state of Ontario, we are not responsible for any gambling that is not sanctioned by the government of where you live.
OGL or whatever. Or wherever you are.
The OGL?
Isn't that like...
It's the agreement that allows people to use Dungeons and Dragons stuff in other licenses.
No. The Ontario gambling...
Oh, is that a thing?
The OGL. Yeah, it's on all the thingies.
I love that my brain immediately went to D&D.
I love that for you as well.
Matthew Thibodeau, thank you for that super chat. First club I've seen. What a great birthday.
Thank you for that super chat. Happy freaking birthday.
Nothing by shitting on the book immediately. I hope your birthday is more wonderful than my week of reading was.
Happy freaking birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hope it's a good one. James Ross, welcome back for 21 months. Read and find out on this book for reasons for reading it. Unfortunately, this is a different genre fantasy book that falls more into a mystery.
Here's the thing. No, I'm not. That is not an excuse, James Ross. You can write a mystery where things happen. What you can't write is a mystery where everything's just always a mystery and we're 420 pages into the fucking book and nobody knows what the fuck is going on.
Maybe it's not Brandy's strong suit. You know what I mean?
He is writing a 90-minute movie and it's clocking in at like 2:45.
Right, yeah.
And like there isn't enough intrigue to justify the amount
of words that I have read. Yeah.
And every character is at the same place in terms of what they know. And if you're going to have a multi-POV mystery, what's really fun about doing a mystery at all is keeping your audience in the dark and throwing red herrings at them, right? When you have a multi-POV mystery, what's really fun is having different people at different places in the mystery. All of our characters are completely fucking clueless. They're all at the same place and we're 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah, and none of them, well, not none of them, that's not true. But, like, the people inside and outside the castle have no way to, like, share information or anything, so...
Nobody's talking.
Yeah. Apparently the first call is you've been duned for the bingo card.
You've been duned! It's my favorite new joke.
We didn't even, like, that was, like, the first thing we said. That's wild. Sweet and Savior, thank you so much for that super chat as well. Don't worry, this was all Discord's idea.
Mm-hmm.
I blame you, Discord.
Fabimus says this book is Robert Pattinson's Batman of the series. Then no, it is much better than that. It's better written. It doesn't look as good, but
it depends on how your mind's eye is. You know, if you see things in like really clear detail, then maybe it does look better.
The further we get away from that Batman movie, the more it drives me crazy.
I know.
It is not good as a script. It is just so well directed that I think that people are like, have convinced themselves the script is good. Acting?
Right?
Oh, no. Like, on the Batman on a technical level is flawless.
Yeah.
It is just one of the worst detective stories I've ever watched on screen, where the detective never tries to be a detective and he just sucks at his job, gets beat up a lot, and then at the end of the movie takes drugs to fight people on top of a stadium, nearly gets everybody in Gotham killed, and then at the end is like, I realize now that my way wasn't working, and I need to be Hope. I can't just be the Dark Knight.
Spoilers!
Wow, was that a fucking failure, hey? God damn, did I do poorly this whole goddamn movie.
I fucked up bad.
Like, the final monologue of that movie is Batman being like, maybe I shouldn't be maybe I should just invest in local infrastructure, because I'm actually really bad at this.
Oh my God.
That's what the final that, and people are like, this is the best Batman we've ever seen, and I'm like, he's not.
I know.
Even in the movie, he says, I am bad at this.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Wouldn't rewatch that movie, to be honest. We saw it twice, and I would more than enough for me.
I would happily take edibles and watch it and just watch the visuals and the action sequences. I think I think the action sequences are great, right?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Daniel Closer read the book
People
in 2
are like,
days.
is this spoilers?
So...
I want to be very clear. If you wanted to see the Batman by now, you would have.
Yeah, that was
and if you haven't seen the Batman, go watch it.
That was like a year and a bit ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like last February.
Yeah.
So, yes, spoilers for Batman, but it kind of, like, it was very unspecific spoilers. Batman is bad at his job.
I mean, I literally spoiled the final monologue of the movie, but...
Yeah, but it's not even a good monologue.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
It's unfortunate because Zoe Kravitz gives like a legendary level performance.
Yeah.
She's so good in that movie.
Yeah.
And like Colin Farrell is so good as a Penguin. Like there are so many good anyway. I could talk about that movie forever because it drives me crazy.
But we're not here to talk about the Batman. We're here to talk about Wallbreaker.
But before we get into Wallbreaker, it's time to talk about gamer subs.
Hey.
Now, Clarus and I, we live busy lives where we need energy because we have so much sex. You know, when you're plowing fertile ground as often as I am.
That's what's often for you? Okay.
Fair. You need a beverage.
A beverage.
That provides you with the energy you need to get it up.
Yeah.
But without the crash that brings you down. And this will be our final Gamer Subs spot. Gamer Subs is a high vitamin energy drink that we only talk about on our show because we drink it every day. So this isn't some like bullshit. This isn't the people drinking out of the Air Up water bottles that you probably shouldn't drink out of because they're just a single-use plastic bullshit container.
But
this is...
Save the environment and get Gamer Subs.
This is that good shit. And if you drink this before sex, you will probably perform the same way you always do. But you'll have more energy after.
And your stomach will be very sloshy.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I mean, if you drink all this...
Before, yeah, if you chug it.
Yeah.
Drink responsibly before sex.
Drink responsibly.
And drink Gamer Subs.
Yeah.
Use coupon code CLAROOS, CLAROOS, for 10% off your order.
Mm-hmm.
CLAROOS. Gamer Subs, we're so sorry.
I'm not.
This is the mango flavor. It's fucking bussin'.
I am obsessed with the Soda Press Despair.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is my absolutely like
you didn't
all-time
fill it
favorite
all the way,
flavor.
and so 2 scoops is sweet.
Yeah, sorry about that. We should have done a normal ad read because apparently Bonkers ad read is on some of the bingo cards. So
that's because every ad read we do is intentionally bonkers.
I mean, yeah, that was an easy one. That should have been like the middle one.
Why would we do a boring ad read?
Should have been the free spot.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna do an ad read, let's do an ad read.
I want to look. Okay. At the end of book club, I want to look at this fucking bingo card. I can't believe you guys made a game out of this. I love you for it. I genuinely, that makes me happy. It brings me joy. All right, I got
Lord Velos over on Twitch says, boring is almost worse than a bad book. I agree. I actually, right now, I was telling Clarissa this yesterday, I actually prefer Elantris to this. Because at least I cared. Like, look, the plot of Elantris is very messy, and, like, we poked a lot of holes into what was nonsensical about it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed reading it more than I enjoy this book. I find this book to be, like, rich people problems, and I don't really care about the rich people involved. They have yet to really... You know what I think it is? Mm-hmm. The centerpiece of this mystery is we do not want the war to happen. And we're 420 pages into the book.
Yeah.
And I actually don't care if it happens or not. Like, honestly, I want the war to break out so that something happens in this book. And I don't think that is a great sign for the book.
Okay,
when the reader is like, just fucking go to war already.
Right.
Like, I should be really invested in stopping the war, and I fully don't care. Part of that is because King Dedede's not a great king, and... They keep showing us that, like, Idrians, other than the royal family in their idyllic little valley, don't have it that good. And so it's like, what are you saving?
I mean, shocking.
You're saving... Like... But for me, the reader, why should I give a shit if they go to war? You're telling me that you're protecting the lifestyle of the royal family? I don't give a fuck about that. They're mostly useless.
No. It is not that. Okay, I will defend that, like, the Hallandrins, if they take over the Idrians... will wipe out their, like, religion and their lifestyle and,
That's
like...
That's not true. They're allowed to have their religion in Teteller. The Idrians... Yeah, the Idrians have Astran fucking, like, idols in their windowsills that are publicly visible from the street. So to say that they're going to wipe out their culture... The Pankal literally work in the God King's palace and don't view him as a god. So to say that this is, like, a culture that wipes out... And this is the problem. They're not authoritarian. They're not, like, crazy oppressive in any way. Their culture seems to be thriving. They have restaurants. People move about the streets freely. So much so that, like, Vivenna is able to get around no problem. So, like, the book hasn't told me that Teteller is this awful place to live. Or that, like, the Idrians would be so much worse off. The Idrians are literally worse off in Idris and moving to Teteller for bare opportunities because the king can't provide for them.
Yeah, the king doesn't have the resources to, like, help his own people.
And so, like, why should I care if they go to war? What are you protecting? You're literally... All this book has told me is that there is a little valley where there is a royal family that gets to live their very special life, and that might get upset by this. But they're not great because they break their own religious code all the time when it suits them.
To be fair, I'm much less interested in the war than I am, like, in the God King himself. And, like, what's going on with him and how, like, him dying or being murdered, ? Like, I definitely, I find that far more interesting than the war itself.
I also find that more interesting. It is not enough of the book.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
It's like, Ciri's POVs are the best part of the book. Ciri as a character is the best part of the book. Ciri's not in... This book isn't really about her enough.
Yeah. So, Dream, in case you missed this, Dream Shake, just in case you missed this, the Sanshin are slavers. I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but they're different because slavery.
Wait, what applies to the Sanshin?
That, like, the cultural assimilation, that, like, the Sanshin are like, well, sure, you can, like, you know, worship, like, have your different, like, beliefs or whatever.
Yeah, I never complained that the Sanshin allowed... There are elements of Sanshin culture that are fine. It's the slavery that I have a problem with.
Yeah, just in case.
I never was like, the Sanshin, you know what? Yeah, they have slavery, but they do allow people to keep their religions. Like, that's, what kind of fucking bar is that? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Oh, Arzu.
That's not a spoiler.
The Sanshin are slavers?
The Sanshin are slavers. The TV show based on it has already come out, okay? The Sanshin having slavery is not a spoiler at this point.
It is technically a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler because it doesn't spoil anything about them. It is the first thing you learn about them.
Yeah.
It isn't like, oh my god.
Yeah.
3 books in, we suddenly realize that the Sanshin keep slaves. It goes, hey, those are the Sanshin, and those are their slaves. Like, that is how they are introduced to the novel. Here comes American slavery into the novel. Here we come to slave the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's their introduction.
Sure, yeah. No, I'm 100% on your page. Linus, thank you so much for that super chat.
I think that counts as a rant about slavery. Is that on the bingo card? What are we doing? What is this?
Are we that predictable?
No, it's the books that these fuckers made us read.
No, you know
it's
what?
It's not our fault.
No, I think it was Dream Shake fishing for that one. That was the.
Okay, guys, you cannot direct our conversation towards the bingo card.
Chat's gonna be fishing this whole stream. Linus, thanks so much for the super chat. Context, more like context. Am I right?
Yes. You are correct.
You are correct. I don't get it.
Yeah. Al Gage says Chatter wants to relitigate slavery. Should be a square, to be honest. Fair. But let's get back to Warbreaker. I hear you. I think the God King stuff is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. It just is that it's not really like at stake as much because we know that he can't die for a year. And the war is more pressing. And so by making the like stakes of the God King's death that if Ciri has a boy, the soonest he's dead is 10 months.
Yeah.
It's really, there's no tension in that for me.
Yeah.
Especially since we know they're not even having sex yet. So like, there's no tension in whether or not the God...
He doesn't know how to make a baby.
Yes, because he's a child. If you want, even though he's like 50.
Yeah, he's 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's difficult for me because I'm like, you have set your plots on such vastly different timelines that it is really difficult as the reader to get invested in the tension of, is the God King going to die?
Yeah.
When if they have a girl, that's years away.
Yeah. It's why I'm like, I really think that that whatever is in the last chunk of this book is gonna come out of fucking left field. Like,
which
it's gonna be
unsatisfying to me, but
sure.
I think that's what Brandon Sanderson like stands like about his books.
I don't know. I don't think this book is particularly beloved.
No, but it's the same thing that happened in Elantris. And our complaint in Elantris was...
But also not beloved.
But like
Mistborn is,
the way that people talk about how Brandon Sanderlanch is, right?
Yeah.
I think that there are people who like that. Who like the like unspooling of a really slow buildup.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that you don't have to be so... I don't want to keep using the word boring, but I think that you can be interesting in the build-up too.
Yeah.
And not just like set the expectation. One of the things about this book that kind of frustrates me is that it feels like the book keeps telling me that there is a reveal coming, just not yet.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Wait for it.
Yeah.
And when I start to see the book tell me that, I go, well then just fucking, okay, what page should I skip to? If none of this is going to be interesting until a certain page, just give me that page number. I don't really need to read all of Blushweaver and Lightsong's conversations. I don't. Almost all of them could be condensed to one chapter, and I would be happy with it. Because they're like Blushweaver trying to get the lifeless commands. I don't give a shit. It'll probably be relevant in the end.
Oh,
but
well, yeah.
As far as like character growth goes,
that's the whole war thing.
Well, but it just like as far as character growth goes, I really it's doing nothing for me in terms of narrative because she's just succeeding in the background.
Yeah.
It's just Blushweaver showing up to scenes and being like, hey, this chapter is about me revealing to you that off page I was accomplishing shit while you sat around and while the character that we're following is like, why isn't Blushweaver our POV character? Mm-hmm. She's actually interesting. She's doing things. She has goals. Like the more interesting character in the scene isn't the one we're following. Yeah. We're following a guy sitting there being like, wow, I really don't want to be involved in this. I would really rather not. Oh, maybe.
I'd rather not.
I found the word case. Maybe I was a detective. I'm going to try and juggling. And I'm like, There is a woman that you
Honestly,
keep telling me about who is doing interesting shit, who's building a fucking army off political games, and we get to watch that from the sideline with a guy who maybe was a detective.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, well, I don't care.
I don't know. I liked that part. I think I genuinely I had a good time with the light song stuff, more so in this section than the previous section for sure.
I agree with that. It's slowly getting better.
Yeah. Judah, thank you so much for that super chat.
Thank you, Judah.
Glad to see all. But yeah, the book for me was really about a select few characters and the implications of the magic. It's blocks for the Cosmere, which is one of my personal critiques of the book. It's blocks for the...
It's building blocks of the, like, greater...
Yeah.
Universe or metaverse or whatever it's going to be. Multiverse.
Metaverse. Yeah. I think it's been interesting, like, because we loved Mistborn so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, oh, Brandon Sanderson is just, it's the fucking go, like, this is great. And, you know, not everything is the same. You can't have, you know, I think it's impossible in an artistic career to have absolute 10 out of 10 bangers every time.
Yeah.
Especially in the earlier stuff. And so it is interesting to read Warbreaker and Elantris from, like, that perspective.
Fabu Moose, thank you for that
thank
super chat.
you.
So Nerdy, would you say we're being edged and soaked until we get that exciting jump humping ending you finished, but was it worth it? I don't think you're edging right. If you edge, it makes your orgasm better. So like,
it better be worth it.
I'm worried that you're doing it wrong. Also, soaking is hilarious.
Yes.
It's just so funny.
As a concept. It's great.
The lengths people will go to get around the specific rules of sex in their religion because they don't actually believe in anything. They just follow a religion because their parents told them they should growing up.
Fuck me in the ass because I love Jesus. Yeah. It's great.
100%.
Yeah.
What my favorite quote from the book this week was, I should have pulled it. I don't have the exact quote, but it was basically like Vivenna realizing that believing in anything is arrogance. Like, believing in religion is arrogance. Yeah. And I was like, yes, this is what I've been saying since I was a child, and it got me kicked out of Sunday school.
Darn. Well, you weren't a princess who could change your hair color, so...
Yeah.
Sucks to suck, I guess.
And Bryce says there's a reason Warbreaker is available free on Sanderson's website. Why did we pay for it twice?
What do you mean? Weren't we gifted this?
Oh, someone sent this to us.
Yeah. Thank you for the gift.
Right. And we used an Audible credit, so I guess we didn't, like, pay for the Audible.
No. It is gorgeous. Like...
Yeah. Someone also sent us the graphic audio so we could listen to the sex scene.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that.
We haven't listened to it yet. But
I haven't listened to it. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Judah, thank you for that super chat.
Super chat.
To quell any worries, though, Elantris and Warbreaker are generally the lowest ranked. Then going straight into Stormlight is like looking into the final evo of a Pokemon. No, and I know. I totally get that this is like early Brandon. But we have to talk about it because that's what our show is.
Yeah.
And we've also developed a reputation for being brutally honest on here.
We ain't stopping now.
Which I think would suck if we were only shitty, right? But, like, we're not. I think that we're fair in that when we love stuff, we love it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I have openly called Mistborn a masterpiece multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't hate Brandon Sanderson.
No.
I just think that this book isn't very good.
Yeah. I'm so curious to see what happens in the last chunk. Because, like I said, I think it is going to come out of completely left field. Mm-hmm. And that, like, anything I could possibly predict wouldn't even be close to what it ends up being, you know? I'm getting that kind of vibe.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely, I find it, like, surprising how little happens in this book.
Yeah, because, when we did the audiobook reaction last night, before we did it, you were like, how you feel about the book so far? And I was like, you know, I don't really have any strong feelings on it. Yeah. Which, like, isn't a great sign. And then we did the audio chapter reaction, and I was like, I'm annoyed.
Yeah, the end of the audiobook chapter is this conversation, mostly. Like, it's us being like, what, like...
Also, like, the person reading the audiobook reads it very, very slowly, and it was driving us up the fucking wall.
Yeah, because I listened to the audiobook at 2 times speed.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into
chapters.
Chapter 22. Light Song plays cricket. Or,
Shot put?
Bocce.
Oh, I don't know.
Lightsong plays a very weird game of bocce where he's doing well because he doesn't know the rules. And he's
Arzu.
like, oh no, we might go to war.
Arzu, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Arzu.
After book club, you can now go watch the reaction if you so choose. You could do that. I'm just saying.
Gifting out the ability to do it.
Thank you, Arzu.
That's Lightsong literally has a conversation with a bunch of gods who never come back. About
because they're
that the
like,
queen
really,
might be in danger or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they're also like the most basic, boring gods. They're like, I'm plotting, and you're like, okay.
Sure. Then we cut to Vivenna. Vivenna, who is eating in a restaurant, which is like the worst thing ever.
Shocking.
Why would you ever let other people cook for you?
Yeah, how could you eat in front
Except
of other
at
people?
like every tavern and inn on the road, everywhere around the world.
That is far too intimate.
Isn't that complicated a idea?
No, it definitely was like a new concept when it happened.
I think that if you are a noble woman
Mm-hmm.
who's never cooked a day in her life, who has like servants literally cooking for her, the idea that you can't understand the concept of a restaurant is so hilarious. When like it's not like you cook your own meals.
Yeah, I think it's more the eating around other people. Because she calls it like an intimate thing. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, again, I really don't care if Idris falls. The country of Idris is a nonsense place. And so they're trying to convince Fob to pull in his crop early because it will help him, but really they're just trying to get him to pull in a smaller crop so that there's less food in the city. This gets into the beginning of the who does Dent work for question that comes up in the final chapter. That is, I have no idea.
No clue.
And then they run out into this guy in the street, and he's like, hey, you're the princess of the country I'm from. And she's like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, I'm fucking Idrian. And she's like, oh, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, mostly taking advantage of people because Idrians are in town all bad. And back home, are there any good Idrians other than Viven and Ciri?
Yeah.
Have we met one? Oh, Parlin, he's dead. Are there any living good Idrians?
The cook.
We don't know that.
Okay.
That woman might be a
like,
serial killer.
Blue, thank you for 5 gifted memberships.
Blue, thank you.
Did you guys put yourselves on the bingo cards? Guys.
Blue did not put himself, but Blue...
But Blue's on the bingo card.
Oh my
Blue,
God.
thank you
This bingo card
so
is going to take over our
membership.
fucking show.
No, I love it.
And so they like grab Thames, the river, and they drag him off to a safe house so that they can interrogate him, make sure that he's not trying to kill her or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's not. And so he's going to set up a meeting. I honestly, I am bored talking about this.
There's gonna be a meeting, okay?
There's going to be a meeting.
Light Song goes to Blush
Chapter
Weaver.
23.
She tries to fuck him again. Every time they meet, she tries to fuck him.
At a certain point, it's sad, right? Like, Blushweaver is a little bit pathetic.
Well, yeah, she literally calls Ciri a slut for having conversations with Light Song.
Yeah.
Blushweaver is the most pathetic god. She's, 15 years old?
I know.
With no intention of ever, moving on in her life? Yeah.
But also, like, the thing about Blushweaver that's kind of, like, she gives me the vibe of, like, the, 50-year-old woman clutching at her martini at the end of the bar, trying to get a man to take her home. And the man just looking at her and being like, I think you've had a little bit too much to drink, Grandma. Like, you know?
But she's got big old titties.
She also doesn't try... The thing that drives me crazy about her is she doesn't try any other tactics sexually. She has, one move. Yeah. And it's... fuck me. And if that doesn't work, she just keeps doing that one move until, if I was any of the gods, I would hate her. I would literally be like, stop. Be more interesting than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, drives me. It's wild.
Yeah, well, Blushweaver's like, hey, Light Song, Mercy Star's palace was broken into. Yeah. So let's go say hi to her, because she's also got those codes. And Mercy Star is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I feel unsafe. Woe is me. Although, you know what, if someone broke into my house, I'd be definitely, I'd be upset. But just the way that she's written is very like, oh no.
And
Pity
then
me.
Blushweaver doesn't want to deal with this, so she leaves. And Lightsong is like, I am going to interrogate you. And I'm going to do it poorly. So he starts off with a good idea, right? Separate people so that you can make sure that they are not like together on their stories.
Yeah.
The problem is that Lightsong separates people by who they were with, which is the opposite of what you should do in this scenario. You should separate the people who were together so that you can see if their stories match up with one another.
Yeah, it's not a bad start.
Right, but it's the right idea, but the wrong execution.
Well,
he separates people by where they were, and the point of the separating is so that they don't hear what the other person says and they can't get together on what their story is, right? So you can get the same story from the same location from two different people, and you can see like what the differences in what they're saying are.
Yeah.
But instead, he clumps them together by like their groupings, and so the one guy talking, that if the other guy wants to lie, he can just agree with guy one.
Yeah. He was probably a cop, but like a mediocre one, you know?
Yeah.
Who went out in a blaze of glory, maybe, question mark? Anyways, there's a trap door in Mercy Star's palace. Very suspicious. Doesn't he find that and then interrogate them?
No, he like leaves. No. You're trying to make this book move so much faster than it does.
And then he comes back.
This book is really stretched. We gotta lugubriate the process. So he's gonna go, then find out that somebody died. A detail that does not come up while he's interrogating people, which leads him to come back and do the same shit a second time. This is what I mean by this is boring, right? This is where like the problems for me with this book happen. All of that should just happen at once, right? There's no reason to stretch it out.
Yeah.
Except to just pad the runtime of the novel.
No, I hear you.
And also,
that's fair.
We could have just gone down the trapdoor.
Well, not with everybody standing there.
I get that, but it is that thing of like we're going to spread the trapdoor mystery over 300 pages of book. Because
we know that Vasher found it, and then Lightsong found it, and also maybe Blushweaver knows about
like we're just gonna keep getting told. It's the problem with the basement in Attack on Titan, right? When you say it in like episode 8, and then fucking
you get there in episode fucking 39, like or whatever.
It's season 3, episode 22.
Sure, yeah.
Right. So it's this like we're gonna keep telling you that there's something there, but you're just gonna have to wait. And I hope that you still care when we get there. Yeah. It's a similar issue here of like. Okay, great. There's a trapdoor. I that was 200 pages ago.
Yeah.
Get to it.
Yeah.
Get to or just get to something. Anything. Just get to one fucking thing in the fucking book.
Do something.
Just tell me one thing.
Well, Siri learns that that there's only been 5 God Kings.
Yeah.
Okay. She goes into the room with the books in it. And is like, give me books. And they're like, no. And she's like, okay. And then leaves. Because she doesn't want to be embarrassed trying to read in front of other people.
Yeah.
And she goes to God King and is like, this is what sarcasm is. That's what happens.
You know what? I think that I have a theory as to why this book is as drawn out as it is.
Uh-huh.
The Brandon Sanderson wanted the mystery to start to come into place after Siri already has feelings for
for the God King.
And so in order to have them have a relationship in the end of the book, everything else had to slow down to the speed of their relationship.
Interesting.
Like because I do wonder if because that would make sense, right?
Yeah.
If you were like, hey, we need these characters to be in love, and we can't do that in a week.
Yeah.
So everybody else has to fucking like be put on ice for a minute here.
Right. That's okay. That's interesting. I think that might be. Like,
I don't think that that's good.
No,
I just think that might be
valid.
the reason.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. She also realizes that Sean over here doesn't know anything about sex. So don't need to worry about making a baby. He's like, yeah, man and woman spend night together. But he's like, there's no baby here, so I don't know what's going on.
He's just sitting in a chair every night wondering, what am I doing wrong?
When is the baby
We're
gonna show up?
in the same room.
Yeah.
Where's the stork? Sebron is both very smart and apparently...
No, he's smart. He's just so sheltered.
Yeah.
Like, they're, like, legitimately, like, you know, fucking... Isn't that's what Spring Awakening is about? Like, they're so fucking, like, sheltered that they get fucking pregnant because they don't know that sex makes a baby. Isn't that...
yeah, maybe.
I haven't actually seen Spring Awakening.
I thought it was about...
I only know the
Moritz,
song of Purple Summer.
One of the boys kills himself because he's gay and the other rapes the lead girl.
Oh!
Yeah.
Wait, wow. This is what happens when you've never seen Spring Awakening.
The musical really
I know, like,
tames
Mama
down the play.
Who Bore Me is like, you know,
That's the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good to know.
That's how the show starts.
I don't know shit about Spring Awakening. Yeah, no, I thought that the plot of Spring Awakening was that, like, nobody told their children anything and they, like, had sex and got pregnant and died.
Kind of, but not really.
All right. I love that for me.
They, like, know, yeah, they know enough that, yeah, anyway, that doesn't matter. Is this a musical theater tangent? Is that on the fucking bingo card?
Okay. Of course it's on the bingo card.
The bingo card needs to get some deeper cuts. You guys have gone for shit that we're gonna do. There's gonna be a musical theater reference in every episode of the show.
But that's the point of the bingo card.
No,
like,
the bingo card should be like stuff that we do, but not every episode.
No,
it should be like, you want the bingo stuff to, when it comes up, be exciting that it comes up, not stamping shit that you know is gonna happen, because it's definitely gonna happen.
No, the bingo card is what the fuck is gonna happen in this unhinged mess as opposed to other people's normal podcasts.
I don't know.
Spring Awakening is not a TV show.
Lid is leaking.
It was a book and then a musical. And then a play and then a musical. So
the play is very long and very boring.
So you know what? I'm gonna say no because it was a musical third. It's not a musical tangent.
I think people like the play mostly because it's a really easy play to do in a like college setting because it's a lot of like young characters. But it is also a weird show to do in a college setting because like we did the musical at our school, and rather than have the nudity in the middle of the show, our production started with the lead girl coming out center stage and taking her shirt off and just being tits out and singing the opening song Tits Out in college.
Mama Who Bore Me?
Yeah. And like looking at her, like there was like a mirror and she was like looking at her body in the mirror and like being like, Mama Who Bore Me. Like not like sexually, but like more like she's like examining her like burgeoning womanhood as she is now entering into like puberty and whatnot.
Okay. All right.
But it was definitely when we all sat down and we're like, that's an 18-year-old girl we go to school with who's just nude. It was interesting.
Yeah. I don't really think there's any reason to have like barely adults naked in your like theater program. But
they loved it.
Me.
The two girls who played her, both they were like very in.
Yes, and here's the thing: if I were them as well, I think I would think the same thing. I'd be like, yeah, adulthood. I'm a woman. Like I have control over myself and my body and whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then a decade later, I'd be like, that was kind of fucking weird.
No, I don't agree with that. I think that theater school feels like that, where you're like, you know what? We're here. We're artists. Let's be free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was naked a lot in theater school. I like maybe that was just the school that I went to, but like I feel like that was just a thing that happened. I was naked in class. Like
it is just I think for me it's the weird 18 line that we draw where it's like that's basically still a child.
Christian Rapper says, I didn't know that there were live plays with nudity. Wow.
What?
I have a wonderful world of live plays. There was
have you seen Daniel Radcliffe in Equus?
Dick out. I've been nude on stage many times. Does that count as a TMI nerdy sex life? Is that on the bingo card?
No, that was the ad read.
That was the ad read.
I don't know if you
funny.
You're welcome.
Wow, I should not have a show on the internet.
Why? This is
Because
why
someone's
people
gonna
stick around.
compile the shit that I've said on here.
Don't do that. Once you put it all back to back together,
It
it's
gets
just
weird.
it's
Yeah.
sad. It's definitely don't do that.
Judith Canizares, thank you for that super chat. My old theater company did Spring Awakening by making the sex scenes be like artsy and pretentious, by which I mean the leads painted each other purple. Interesting.
Oh. Is that a Purple Summer reference?
Oh, good call. That is the final song of the show for some reason.
For some reason. Okay.
That show just ends on a song. The ending
know.
of Spring Awakening is one of the weirdest musical moments ever.
Yeah. I actually don't hate that. And I know it is artsy and pretentious. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of art is artsy and pretentious. And I I think that's kind of cool. I dig it.
All right. Siri tries to get a book out of the library, and the librarian is a cunt. Chapter 25.
The priest librarian. Oh no, wait, it's Trelides, isn't it?
Yeah. He's a cunt.
Yeah, he's a cunt.
I'm sure he's gonna be really important to the finale of this book. I don't know anything about him. He's such a non-character. He's just an obstacle, and because of how important I think he's going to be later, I wish I knew something about him. And I can say that about a lot of characters in this book. This is the really I don't want to say amateur hour because it feels mean, but there are elements of this book that are
unrefined.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
I think that the way that some of these characters
you.
are brought up that are going to be important to the plot at the end, I don't care about them. I feel like I am learning about them to learn about them, and I would like to give a shit in a way that this book isn't really opening up for me to do.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. But basically Siri tries to get a book. She basically realizes that the God Kings die after they have kids.
Yep.
Why? I don't know. Religion is so weird.
Well, the general populace believes that, the God King now has an heir and then looks for a reason to move on and aid his people.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Chapter 26, Light Song wakes up early, which is weird.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. You need to check that out.
He looks at a painting that was made by somebody, and he's like, oh my god, it's a war, and there's a lady there with a black sword. And his priest is like, I didn't see that. You're a prophet. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking? It's the lady with the black sword. And I was like, oh, it's Vivenna. She's going to get the black blade from Vasher, and she's going to have a wildly unearned heroic moment in the third act.
See, I did not get that, but I'm interested.
I do not like Vivenna as a character very much at all.
I don't like her as a person, but I find her fascinating as a character.
Oh, interesting. See,
yeah. I don't think I would like being her friend, but reading about her, I think is actually really interesting with the whole religion thing. It was that moment where she's like, oh, believing in anything is arrogance.
There are moments like that are interesting.
Yeah.
She is so incompetent that she kind of just drives me crazy.
That is totally
even
fair.
As a character, I'm just
totally fair.
You were trained your whole life to go to Teller, and it doesn't seem like you are ready for it at all.
Well, and
but she did learn one thing about kidnapping that doesn't help her.
It would have.
Well,
it would have.
The lesson she learned about kidnapping is escape fast or die.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Great advice. Hey,
I've never been trained in how to get kidnapped, and I know escaping quickly is better than not escaping quickly. What kind of fucking advice is that?
Fair.
And she treats it like she's like, oh my god, all of my lessons, they're coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah. If you get kidnapped, escape fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no fucking shit, girl.
Yeah.
I've never needed someone to take me to class to teach me that.
I don't think she's very smart, but I love her introspective dialogue. Those moments really save it for me.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Vivenna is a Utah Mormon girl that leaves Utah for the first time in her life, and is surprised Mormon outside Utah aren't the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
That Mormons in Canada don't soak. They just fuck. They do anal. They do.
It's a lot of work, props to you. What? So anyways, yeah, Light Song's in a really good mood, okay? He looks at the paintings, he goes to Mercy Star's place again and then finds
Oh no, we have to bring up that he sees a Red Panther and and it's such a ridiculous thing. He's like, in my dreams there was a Red Panther, and Laramar's like, okay.
Are you making shit up again?
Don't fuck with me, okay?
Yeah. He's like, no, I actually I saw a Red Panther, and he's like, okay.
This is where Light Song finds the trapdoor.
Yes.
And doesn't go down it.
Nope. He pretends that he didn't notice it, which is so dumb. I'm sorry, but the priest knows of the heightenings, that, like, the priest knows that the gods are, like, heightened way above him. The fact that he wouldn't see the discrepancy in color or whatever the fuck it is, I'm like, my dude, you need better priests. Or I guess Mercy Star needs better priests. Your priest, dumb.
So this is the third chapter about this trapdoor. Let's keep track of that. Let's keep track of how many chapters we talk about the trapdoor before we find out anything.
Oh, he gets the squirrel, though. He's like, bring me the rabbit squirrel.
Yep. He does get it.
Gonna come back.
Do we learn anything about it? No.
Just not another basement reveal.
Light Song has it.
If we don't get to the basement until the fucking last chapter, I'll lose my shit. If the basement is Nazis, I will lose my mind. I will burn this book. Okay? God damn it. Anyways.
So then, chapter 27, Siri is no longer allowed to read. Because she might read the wrong thing. Just put books in the area that are... Safe. I feel like these priests are really, like, they're trying so hard to look suspicious.
Yeah.
When it would be so easy to just be like, yeah, we have a bunch of, like, Brandon Sanderson books. He's written, like, 90 of them.
Well, and they do say, like, oh, let's get you, like, stories and stuff. And she's like, no, I want, like, the histories and the ledgers and stuff. And they're like, oh, no.
No, but if you read that... What?
Your eyes.
You're telling me that you have a criminal conspiracy where you have writers working for you every single day, and you haven't written up a bunch of propaganda? The fuck are you guys doing? Yeah. Write some goddamn propaganda.
Where's your fake books to give them?
It's not hard.
Guys.
If communities for zero money can create AO3 and fanfiction.net, which have billions of words, mostly smut, where Harry and Draco fuck each other in the ass repeatedly until one of them gets butt pregnant.
Draco?
That's what I said.
You said Harry and Drake go. You said Harry and Drake go.
No, I said Harry and Draco. You just think you heard that because you're crazy.
Oh, okay.
I'm gaslighting you. Yeah. If we can, for free, create repositories of writing that echo into the billions of words and pages, you can create a couple of fucking fake books over the course of the last 300 years you've been in power, whatever it is. Write a fake book. You're doing propaganda wrong. Don't be like, the truth is in here. We're just not going to let you read it because we're sus. It's like the most...
Yeah.
They're not even trying.
Yeah.
I could run Haladrin secretly so much better than fucking Tildaral the Riddly.
I would be a better bad guy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I really should never be given power over anything. I would be the worst human.
No, give it to me instead.
Well, no, but that's us. We would run it terribly together.
Our company, terrible. Don't work for us.
We don't pay anybody on time. It's always like a day late because we're like, fuck, we have to move things around.
That is not true. I pay Brandon on time twice a month.
That's true.
You just don't do it.
That's true. I'm making jokes because I don't pay anybody. But also, for some reason, despite the fact that we share an account, my login doesn't have access to the people she's paid in the past, and so I'm like, babe, I
can't even access the business account for some stupid reason.
I know. Our banking makes no sense.
Doesn't matter. Anyways, Larmar is a pretty cool dude. You know, he's actually he's fun when he offers anything.
Oh yeah, Siri goes to see Light Song.
Yeah, and Larmar basically is seems like he's pretty straight up. Whether like not like purposely trying to like hide or change anything. It's just like, oh yeah, I'll answer some questions if I know them.
And so this is where an editor, I think, should step in. Again, much like the trapdoor thing being spread out across chapters. Ciri goes to them to find out information. Larimar delivers a lot of that information. And then is like, well, let's get a professional storyteller. And she's like, all right, Lightsong, can you hire a professional storyteller? Because they won't bring a real one to me, right? And so a couple of chapters later, we do this chapter again with a minuscule amount of more information.
And a lot of dust and dirt everywhere.
Yeah. And this is one of those things where, like, when your book is already getting long, don't do the same thing in multiple chapters. It doesn't benefit the reader. It doesn't benefit the book.
Yeah.
And this is where, like, this book just needs to be edited. Like, there's good stuff in here. It is just, like, it's almost like a repetition issue where, like, I don't know if Brandon Sanderson thinks that people are going to be dumb and not follow if the same thing doesn't happen multiple times. But a lot of these things could be scrunched down into the storyteller. And I get that we want Hoyd to show up because he's in Mistborn and he's in
Elantris.
The 10 years later written piece of Elantris. But, like, these things don't have to be multiple chapters that are the same.
Okay. I definitely think that Hoyd wrote that, like, essay.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was written by some woman who...
What? How do you know?
Because the essay, it had, like, a, name on it, didn't it?
What?
No, there's like a woman... I don't know.
Is it... Hoyda? I don't freaking know.
No. I don't remember at this point.
I don't remember.
That was a while ago.
This chapter could have been an email.
It could have, though.
Yes.
Like, it's literally like...
Yes.
And a lot of the chapters where people in the Court of the Gods... But yes, gender. Yeah, it was a woman wrote it.
Okay, well, maybe Hoyd is not only an interdimensional space traveler being thing, but also is a shapeshifter. Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's more that, like, we're going to find out that the Cosmere... I feel like eventually, because Brandon... The only thing I know about Mistborn, outside of what we've read, is that Brandon Sanderson has said that, like, the eras of Mistborn are going to get into the future and, like, space travel. It'll eventually be sci-fi. And I think that, like, we're going to, in Cosmere reading, find out that there is some sort of, like, agency around the Cosmere. I think there's going to eventually be
like the TVA.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling it's a lady related to whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, I just figured like Hoyd was part of that, and so I was trying to make connections.
So yeah, Lightsong is basically like...
but Hoyd does disguise as well, so maybe his professor disguises a woman.
I don't think that the essay would be a disguise because it's not written in a universe.
So then maybe... Hoyd
You're
is
really
actually a
woman
and goes around in male drag as their other personas.
You're trying so hard to make this work.
I'm trying to make this interesting.
I agree. All right.
And predictions are fun even when there is a 0.1% chance.
Lightsong ends the chapter by being like,
hey, politics?
Don't rely on me.
Oof, yeah, woof.
Politics, not my thing. Don't rely on me, even though in the final third of this book, she definitely will rely on him, and he is going to come through.
Yeah.
Scuff-Andy, think of that super chat.
Scuff-Andy.
Can't think of anything to say.
Thank you.
We're trying today.
It's just, yeah, you know what? We're having fun.
I'm having a great time.
I'm actually having a great
like
time.
you a lot.
I hope you guys are having a good time.
Chat, I don't
bingo.
like you as much, but that's because you're not my wife.
You
Chapter
don't get
28.
white privileges.
No,
so.
yeah. Chapter 28. Vivanna goes to meet Thame, and they talk about how the Idrians, like, their lives are hard, and Idris doesn't really provide for them, and so they move here, and then they move into the slums, and it's not great.
Yep.
And that's the chapter.
Vivanna is like, I hate Hallandren for what it's done to my people.
Oh, we also get Vivanna is like, I should send Parlin home. And Dent is like, oh, you got a little bit of a crush? And she's like, no. And he's like, I'm going to kill that boy. But he doesn't say that out loud. It just is what happens.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoilers. Chapter 29. Sisebron is...
Sean.
Sure. like, hey, Siri.
Hey, Siri.
What are mountains like? Ding. Mountains are tall piles of stone that are taller than anything human beings could ever pile together.
Hey, Siri, are you religious? Hey, Siri, do you believe I'm a god?
This is both the best chapter in terms of the dialogue between them is the most interesting part of the book.
Yeah.
And also...
So Sebron is like, you're hot. I see everything, and everything is beautiful, but you're beautiful inside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but that is from a person who is like basically an infant in their like maturity, being like, yeah, everything I see around me is beautiful, but you as a person are someone that I've never encountered before, and I find that beautiful. I was like, oh, that's actually super sweet, because he doesn't know what sex is. Like, he's not like trying to get anything.
But he does like her titties. He's like, you got naked and things. I don't want to say that I got an erection because Brandon Sanderson's Mormon, but I
liked it when
tingly.
You were naked. Yes, your naked body is 10 out of 10. Like,
and so they have a great conversation where he's like, they've never told me about other religions.
Yeah.
It is kind of this wonderful moment of their relationship. It's also, I'm like waiting for, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Sebron, I really don't want them to have sex in this book. And the reason is that Sebron is mentally a child and is a victim.
He's not
I don't want them to sleep together until after he is no longer a
it's
prisoner.
tough, because like, so
it makes you a little bit uncomfortable.
We know that the aging process is different for the returned, and so like I genuinely don't know how old he is in his brain. Like
James Ross brings up, it's the hot born yesterday trope, which I totally agree with. It's not my favorite trope. And I feel as uncomfortable about it with female characters as I do for male characters. I'm not trying to be like,
yeah.
I just am. The more we're learning about him, he's so unaware that
he's been like deliberately left unaware. But here's the thing: his like cognitive reasoning makes me feel like he is like around 20 years old. He's not like fully there yet, but he knows enough to know to ask questions and to understand. Like there is.
I think that he should be given a taste of freedom.
Yeah.
Before he signs up to be in love with the only woman he's ever been allowed to be with.
Okay, he is married to her, so...
Yeah, but that... Not by choice. Although I guess, like, arranged marriages are a thing. Yeah. And, like, I know people in arranged marriages that are very happy.
Yeah, and
so,
I think,
I don't know. It's just... every time they're, like... It's a little, I need him to get a little bit of freedom. Yeah. And then make his own decisions once he's had that taste of that. And I'm like a little bit like, Siri, you need to give him a little bit of space after all this is over and let him figure things out for himself and let him be his own person.
Yeah, depending on what it looks like when it's all over. Like
Although I'm a little bit convinced that this book might end with him like giving up his breath to stop the war.
That's why it's called Warbreaker. I don't know.
This chapter also sees Vivenna. She goes to see some dead bodies. And there's this wound with a black tinge from Vasher's sword. Are you surprised that this far into the book we still don't have any clue what the fuck is going on with, like, the living weapon?
Am I surprised at it?
Yeah, I thought we would have heard of more living items by now. But the fact that, like, Vasher's sword is still the only one, I, like...
My thought is that Vasher's sword is related to... the like super duper lifeless from the mini war. You know how they were like, they were like there's the lifeless, and then there's maybe the lifeless that this other guy had that was all defeated. Like I feel like the sword is somehow like that those lifeless were created in the same way where they had some kind of like sentience to them, which made them more deadly, right? Because they, instead of just retaining like instinct, they actually had cognitive thinking.
Maybe that has something to do with Ciri being like allergic to it, or Vivenna.
Vivenna is allergic to it because she's like pure of heart or whatever.
No, I think it's because she has royal blood.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't think pure of heart exists. And maybe it does in this world. I would not call Vivenna pure of heart.
I think she, like, I believe that she has best intentions and is never looking to use or manipulate people. And I think that you know, the guy who was tempted
Parlin's corpse kind of says otherwise to me.
What do you mean?
Well, she uses and manipulates him.
What?
Yeah, she uses their previous relationship to get him to go on this mission with her against what he desires.
Well, he doesn't really object all that
hard. And
hard.
then she's not that nice to him, so much so that there's a scene on the stairs where he's like, "You're not very nice to me."
Yeah, but
like,
I don't think it's ever,
you don't
like...
actually care about me all that much. So much so that she feels bad when he points out that she's not great to him.
Yeah, no, I think that Vivenna is definitely, like, ignorant in a lot of ways, but I don't ever think that she is malicious, like, intentionally awful. Because, you know, that guy who gets tempted by the sword is like, no, I, like, cheat when we gamble and stuff like that, which is, like, intentionally, like being malicious towards your friends and like, that kind of thing.
I don't think that you have to be intentionally malicious to do wrong by people.
That is fair, but I think that if it does make a difference.
If you want to be pure of heart, I think that it is an active... I don't think that exists, right? But I think if it were to, it would be an active effort of caring for the people around you in a way that Vivenna doesn't show that she can. She does not. She is much like the problem I have with Charlie in Hazbin Hotel.
Yes.
She is so selfish and self-centered that she does not pay enough attention to the people around her.
I agree. But I think that having malicious intent towards another being is probably the line for the sword. Like, yes, Vivenna is so ignorant. Like, I don't think she is the best person.
I think that if she was a pure of heart person, I think that she wouldn't be so judgmental. And so immediately judgmental of
That's
the Haladrins.
Her upbringing, though.
Again, but that is what creates your pure heart, right? Like, she to say that this character is this like magnanimous, pure of heart, like open person. I think Ciri is closer to that than Vivenna is.
Sure.
I wouldn't give Vivenna that. I think that Vivenna.
Sure, but I don't believe that Vivenna. It's like the fucking One Ring. It's like this temptation of and certain people who have, you know, are greedier and more of a lust for power, are susceptible to it, whereas like Frodo isn't. Frodo may not be the perfect human, you know, like he's not the perfect person in any way, but it is that there has to be some kind of distinction for the sword to function within the story. And I think that it has to be intent.
But if we're going to go with the One Ring thing, right? And spoilers for The Lord of the Rings. To say that Boromir doesn't have a pure heart to me doesn't make sense. Boromir wants the ring, but Boromir's desire for the ring is not selfish. It is born out of he has been fighting to protect his people his whole life. He's been putting his body on the line, frontline guy, his whole life. And he's looking at the ring going... I can save people. Like, Boromir is far more...
Denethor is like, bring me the ring as a weapon. And Boromir's like, I don't know about that. But the seed is planted, and so the ring is able to corrupt him.
But his intention... But okay, I hear what you're saying. But if you're going off of what his intentions are, Boromir's intentions in no way...
I think maybe the ring was the wrong thing, because the ring
are to corrupt.
Actively corrupts people.
Sure. But I'm saying
that the sword does.
I think it does. I don't think that people want to stab each other. I don't think the guards in the prison cell are wanting to kill each other. I think the sword corrupts them into doing it.
I don't think that that's what... No, I thought the sword killed them.
No, it made the one guy who pulled it out kill the other two.
But it was still in the sheath, so how is that possible?
I don't know. We're 420 pages in and I don't know how it works.
I thought it was like a magic stabbing. Like, basically, the sword... can see your soul, does a fucking quick analysis, and is like, bad guy, and then you die. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just surprised.
I'm
surprised this far into the book. I don't know. Let's do a quick rundown of things that have to get resolved, because there is no second book. things that have to get resolved in, 200 pages?
Yeah.
Right? A third of this book. Who is Vasher?
Yeah.
And why?
Why does he have this sword?
Also,
what is the sword?
So that's like 3. How does the sword function as a lifeless thing? Who is Vasher? What is Vasher and Dent's connection? And what does Vasher want? That's 4 mysteries
and
around
also,
1 character.
No, and also, who is the, like, creator that they mentioned who is dead? Like, the sword is like, I want to go see what's her face.
I was going to put that in the, like, what is the deal with the lifeless sword?
Sure.
So that's 4 mysteries around that character.
Yeah.
Then for Susebron, why? So who is the?
Why are they dying? Who are the priests? What do the priests want?
What is the purpose of killing the God King when he has a son?
What are the goals of the priests?
What do they want? What is the value of the war? Is Blushweaver actually connected to that? Who is Dent? Who was Dent? What does Dent want? What does who hired Dent?
Yeah. Like, who does Dent work for?
Like, it literally is. There's just I can't even get to them all. There's too many things that haven't been resolved.
Yeah.
And a lot of those are small things that could have been done by now.
Who was Lifesong before he was this? And does that affect anything moving forward at all?
Vasher could have, when he kidnaps Vivenna, revealed some things about Denth. So that we get like some... Instead he's like, I gotta go. And it's like, okay, why was the scene so long?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to reveal anything to the audience and you're going to be like, don't worry, in the final third, shit happens. Like, it feels like I'm being pointed at and mocked by the book a little bit. No, but I mean it. I mean it. The book is literally going, not yet, not yet, not yet, for 400 pages.
Yeah.
The length of 2 other people's novels.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when I start to feel that from the book, I tune out because I'm like, oh, fuck it. Like, I'm going to go get shit done while I have the audiobook on, and I hope that I can get to the point where this book starts to reveal shit.
Yeah.
Because I have to for my job. This is a book I would absolutely put down and never pick back up.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting. If we didn't have to talk about it next week, I would not finish this.
I mean, I would, just because I was this far in. I think I would have maybe stopped like around like here. But the thing is,
I would have stopped at the 3rd chapter about the trapdoor. That would have been the thing where I'd have been like, hey guys, we can't keep doing this.
I just I love the magic system so much that I think like I would have just gone through the whole book to experience the colors and the breath and like how all that works.
In high school I would have.
Yeah.
Now that I'm an adult and I have shit to do, it's just a lot of time.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%.
And like this book is a lot of my time to be this. Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I fucking get it. Just get to it. Like you wear on the book wears on my patience to the point where the mystery is not as interesting as I feel chafed by it. It's the really fine line of mysteries. It is the hardest part. It's the thing that Agatha Christie fucking perfected. Agatha Christie drops red herrings that feel like the reveal in chapter 5.
Yeah.
Right? Like in chapter 5, you're like, oh, I figured it out. And then you're like, nope, I was 100% wrong.
Yeah.
6 chapters later. And the like roller coaster of that is what is so fun. It is the like, oh. And this book is, and then Dent reveals that he's a bad guy, and you're like, you know what I mean?
We're just like kind of, I don't know. Do you have any theories about the sword?
Judah Canizares says, Lama, I put this down for 1.5 years. Fair.
Judah, thank you for that super chat.
I don't think... I mean, Agatha Christie is... Yeah, of course I respect Agatha Christie. She is the template for the mystery genre.
Yeah.
She is the answer to most people's questions about how to write a mystery. Just go read Agatha Christie, and you'll have a pretty good idea of how it works. You know what I mean? The sword. I don't know, because it doesn't make any sense with the magic system that we've been introduced to. It is a black weapon, so it doesn't even have color. Yeah. It doesn't seem to take color from... Oh, it does. It did take color from the one guy's hand. So, Tong Fa's hand is now gray.
Tong Fa? No. The dude who
was
interrogated, one of the servants.
Yeah, his hand is... Oh, right, in the castle.
Yeah.
So his hand is now gray. So I guess maybe it's powered by taking, the color out of people. But yeah, I don't know. They're gonna have to introduce another element of the magic system for the sword to work.
Yeah.
And because of the way that Brandon Sanderson does magic systems, that could be anything.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a way to like. It would be interesting if it was like a past God King, or if it was like Peacebringer, like the person who ended the many war. If his breaths had been like put into the sword or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if you put enough breath into an item, it actually, because they are actually, that's what it is. I think I figured it out. I haven't thought about it enough, but if you put enough breath into an item.
Yeah.
Like, say you put, like, the 10th heightening level worth of breath into an item, your soul goes with it. It's going to be something like that. So Nightbringer will have been a very powerful...
Nightblood.
Oh! It's fucking oh, fuck. It is the Canuck dude. Canarkin. The guy that Peacebringer brought down in the Many War. Kalad. Kalad has been put into the sword. It is going to be the soul of the guy that Peacebringer took down the king, Kalad, who was the tyrant, and put him in the sword as a punishment at the end of the Many War. And so that's why Vasher and him are working together, because Kalad wants to bring down the empire that rose out of his death. And so Kalad is. So
you're saying Peacebringer was the bad guy?
No, I'm saying that Peacebringer is Kalad's bad guy.
But here's the thing, Kalad, like the sword only like tempting like bad people makes me think that like somehow Nightblood and Vasher have to be like maybe not the good guys, but not like the baddies.
Yeah, no, I think that it's just more. I don't think that there's a good guy and a bad guy in the Many War. I think that there are sides who went to war with one another. Right? I don't think that every war has a right side and a wrong side. World War II is like a right side and a wrong side, right? Like, obviously, the Holocaust is the bad guys of World War II. Yeah. It's really hard to make an argument that, like, that Hitler wasn't the bad guy of World War II.
Yeah, for
Some people try. I don't talk to them anymore. And some people deny the Holocaust, which is crazy.
Psychotic behavior.
Because there are people alive who lived through it. Yeah. And it's like, no, they're lying. And you're like, that's an insane take.
That's a take.
But there isn't always a good side and a bad side, right? Yeah. Sometimes there's just war. And war can happen for a lot of reasons. Mm-hmm. A lot of war in human history had nothing to do with xenophobia. It was... Our drought has caused us to not have food, and we need your food, right?
Right.
Like, it is a roll of the dice on, like, it was an El Nino year. We'd had all of our crops wiped out, and we're either going to kill you or die.
Or it's like, hey, we over here, we don't like the people over there, so we need to take your land here in the middle to make sure that they can't march through to us.
Yeah.
And have a better, like, front. Like, it, yeah. Yeah.
RSE King says the Nazis versus the British Empire versus the Soviets is like extremely bad versus slightly less bad, to be fair. Yes. If you view the Allies as only the British Empire, yes. There were other countries, like, I think that, like, the French would be like, hey, we really didn't want to be invaded. And, like, Poland was probably, you know what I mean? Poland was pretty happy to watch the Nazis lose.
Yeah.
As someone whose great-grandfather had to flee Austria when the Nazis invaded, because he was like, hey, I don't want to get killed by the Nazis.
Yeah.
I think that the Austrians were mostly... Actually, that's not true. A lot of Austrians embraced Germany. But
that was a weird one.
People like my family...
they pieced the fuck out.
Really upset about losing everything that they had ever owned when the Nazis invaded. Mm-hmm. And having to move to Canada and start over on a small farm. So, yes, if you frame it as just the British Empire, I don't know if you've seen me talk about the British Empire before. Not a fan. However, wait, is Nerdy one of the Von Trapps? Basically.
Sure.
A descendant.
Yeah.
My real last name...
Look at this blonde hair and pale complexion.
Look at this blonde hair. My real last name is Weens, because when my great-grandfather came over during World War II, my last name was Von Viens, which means of Vienna. Like, literally my name is, like, David of Vienna. Mm-hmm. So, That's like my family history.
Yeah, there you go.
And so my like 50, when he was like 55, my great grandfather fled the Nazis, moved to Canada, remarried a 20-year-old farm girl, and had 9 more kids. Crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
He got busy.
Yeah.
He's a fan of Smut Corner.
Yeah. And they just grew apples on an orchard until he died.
Love that for them.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wild, right? Can you imagine having 9 kids after 50?
No. Nerdy is descended from Vivenna. So close. So close.
Hitler was Austrian. That is true.
Yeah. I don't have any interesting
Thankfully,
family history.
Don't think I'm... What? You're related to Lewis Carroll.
Yeah, I mean, that's not, like, historical. Like, none of my, like...
What? You are related to one of the most important authors of all time.
Yeah, but nobody talked to him because he was a creep.
Oh, sure, but you're still related to him.
Yeah, I guess so. I got the blood of creep in my veins.
Yeah.
He was ostracized from the family, so... but my great-grandmother did speak to him at some point in her life.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways, we were trying to theorize about the sword.
I think I figured it out. I think it's going to be Kalad's soul from the Many War.
That's fascinating. I was like, maybe it's a previous God King, but I feel like no. Because how the fuck would they... Yeah. So that's interesting.
What chapter are we on? Wait, is that really on the big... Guys, of course I ask that every week.
Oh my god.
So then Vivenna's like, someone with a lot of breath is watching me. And it's Vasher. Vasher's watching her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
then
this is where we
Vasher
learn...
POV.
This is... In this Vasher POV, we learn that Denth is named Varatrelides.
Which has to be somehow related to Trelides. Like, there's no way...
Because I'm sure that it's just his last name's Trelides, and that they only call him by his last name in court.
But they don't call him whatever it is, space Trelides. It's like all one word.
I don't know how names work in this world.
That's fair. Because here's the thing. Before this popped up, I was like, maybe Denth was, like, one of the high priests. Like... Or, like...
Yeah, maybe.
One of the God Kings, or like, one of the Returned or something. But I'm gonna say no?
Ilma Vavi says, not sure if someone told you already, but according to Brando's annotations, Jules fucks the zombie? Brandon Sanderson, you're a weirdo.
Save me for my corner. Yeah, wow.
Brando, you're a weirdo. That's... an insane thing to put into the annotations. Write it in the fucking book, you coward.
Yeah.
Put it on page.
Coward.
I don't want to read it in the annotations. I want to read that zombie fuckery.
That zombie smut.
Don't think you're going to turn me off with zombie smut. I saw Warm Bodies. That movie was great. It's really good. I like it a lot.
Sure.
Have you never seen Warm Bodies?
No.
It's about, it's Romeo and Juliet, but Romeo's a zombie.
Oh.
And it's like Nicholas Hoult, Rob Corddry. I can't remember who plays Juliet. But it is legitimately such a good book, such a good movie. I love Warm Bodies.
All right. Dope.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh, please. Smut Corner came in the fucking, like, ad read, you guys.
Smut Corner always comes
annotations.
early.
Yes, Michael Kielski.
Jesus Christ.
It's an annotation.
Yeah, so we learned that Denth's name is Varatrelides, which definitely is going to be important somehow.
And Denth is aware of what the sword does, because Denth does tell Tongfa, like, we don't steal the sword, let him pull it out, it'll weaken him, and then we can kill him after he's weak.
Yeah, I don't really understand what that means.
I don't know.
Don't know who Shashara is.
I'm assuming she's going to be relevant in the final third. Like, this is what I mean about this book. Still has so many people to introduce us to.
I know. Although I don't know if that's going to be relevant because she's obviously dead. She was the person who, like, made the sword, so.
So, in case this book wasn't already slow enough, Blushweaver goes to see Lightsong, and he is attempting to do the scene from Ghost where Patrick Swayze gets real intimate with Demi Moore. And he can't do that. So then he starts to juggle. And at this point, I was like, is Brandon Sanderson fucking with me? Like, am I being fucked with right now?
Yes. You personally.
We're really doing like this book is so long.
Yeah.
And I think that this could have been interesting if this book was about Lightsong trying to figure out who he was. If that was like the main thrust of this book, I think that this chapter would be very interesting.
Yeah.
But because it is like the third most interesting plot, this detour isn't. You know what I mean? And that's the thing where like, if this had come up in the first third of the book, if Lightsong had got going a little bit faster, I think that this would have been a really interesting chapter. Yeah. But on page like 370, I was like, I
hear you.
What are we doing?
We also meet Hope Finder. We meet a new character, who is like, looks like a child.
No, was returned as a child, but is now an adult.
No, but he still looks like a child.
I thought he looked like he was like.
He looks 13.
18. Oh, he looks 13. I thought he looked 18 now.
No,
then he'd grown up really quick.
No, they're like he doesn't have the like chiseled, muscled physique that everyone else has. Like he kind of looks like a child because he grows up slower. And basically, he's like, "What? I have these fucking commands. Can't do shit with that. I'd like to have a fucking vote or a say or anything. I'd like to give my life purpose and meaning." And so Blushweaver and Hopefinder trade. She gets his lifeless commands, and then Blushweaver votes however he tells her to. Yeah. Yeah.
We now control most of the army. There's just 1/4 of the army we don't have left.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Lightsong hasn't given his commands, so obviously I don't think Blushweaver's only going to have half the army, and Lightsong is going to realize that Blushweaver is the fucking worst. And not give her them.
Yeah. And Lightsong briefly wonders if juggling is an important skill to have as a police officer.
I'm gonna say
is an
probably
insane
not.
Statement. Well, you never know. You have to juggle many cases.
Mentally. My mental juggling skills? Oh, I'm sick,
bro. I can juggle
sick.
Mentally.
Yeah. I can juggle mentally.
I can watch Critical Role, a sporting game, and edit at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, my mental juggling skills are impressive.
Peak.
My physical juggling skills get things in our kitchen broken.
Your mom literally bought you juggling balls. It was like, I bought you these. Remember when you used to juggle as a kid? And David was like, I've never juggled once in my life.
Never in my life been able to juggle. I've also never in my life tried to juggle.
No.
Until my mom bought me juggling balls this year.
I mean, they're
and
like
now I'm
sand ones.
I've been trying, and you know what? I am not good at it.
So you weren't a detective in your past life.
I guess that's what that means. I've never been a detective.
Yeah.
ACAB. Denth doesn't want to do the meeting with the Idrians because it doesn't go against his evil plot that is...
Evil plan.
But Vivenna wants to, so she goes and she meets them, and they're like, all right, if we can fuck you, then...
No, not you. The one guy's like, do you have a sister that I can marry and fuck? And then the other one's like, can I have a lordship title, whatever it is? And she's like, whoa. Shouldn't your patriotism be enough to help me out? And they're like,
no.
Yeah, sure. But also other stuff.
But this is what I mean by, like, I find Vivenna exhausting.
Yeah,
because, like, are you stupid?
Well,
like, did you really think you were going to show up and people were just going to put their lives on the line for free? This is what I mean by, like, Vivenna, like, what... You've been working with mercenaries for months now, according to this book, and you're still this dumb about what people want and need? She doesn't understand anybody else's desires or needs.
She is, like, weirdly almost as sheltered as the God King in a way. Because she
was...
100%. She was, like... her tutors put fucking blinders on her and gave her whatever the fuck she was supposed to do in front of her face, and she was like, yes. And she didn't question anything.
And, like, I guess that they were trying to teach her how to be submissive and breedable. Like, that was their goal, and they succeeded. Because Siri can use her fucking brain and is a great character, and Vivenna is so ignorant of any other person in a scene with her that I actually, like, my skin itches when I'm reading her POVs.
Fair, yeah.
Like, I just am like, fuck, you're dumb. And I'm not saying that because she's a woman. I promise. It's not like a fucking sexist thing. It's because she's a
woman!
Like, I love Siri. I think Jules is I think that unlike Mistborn, where there's so few female characters, but the ones that are in Mistborn are well written.
Yeah.
I think these female characters are well written. I just fucking cannot stand Vivenna.
Yeah. And I understand why completely. But it is part of the reason I find her so fascinating to read.
I just
I'm
am
like, I don't get you.
we're just too far into. I want her to grow a little bit, and it's still she feels as ignorant of other human beings as she did at the beginning of the book. Like she hasn't learned anything from the way people are talking to her.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because the book wants me to think that she's smart, and I really don't. Like I think the book is wrong about her. I don't think the book wants
you to think that she's smart. I do not get that impression at all.
Okay, I got that impression a little bit, so I'm glad that you say that.
No, to me it feels like, look how ignorant the fucking royalty is in this world.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But, yeah.
But Ciri isn't.
Yes, because Ciri was left to her own devices.
Yeah,
she fucked off. She was able to experience the world for what it was. She was able to grow as a person without being directed and shoehorned into being a thing. Because both of her sisters and her brother has to be the heir, her sister has to have the babies, and her other sister has to be the monk. And so at the beginning, you know, she's like, I'm redundant. Mm-hmm. And because of that, she actually gets to have her own personality and go through life not fucking, shoehorned into, like, being a specific thing. So, yeah, I definitely never get the impression that the book wants me to think Vivenna is smart.
I sometimes get the book, I get the feeling that this book wants me to think that she's going to be the heroic victor at the end of this book, and I don't think she deserves it because I don't think she's earned victory. I don't think she's treated people well enough. Honestly, the events of the book would be going smoother for everybody involved if she wasn't present. Her presence has made things worse for everybody she's come in contact with, except for Denth, who's now richer.
Sure, yeah, because he's been being paid by 2 people.
In this chapter, the lifeless attack, because she's there, and she gets all of these Idrians killed in the lifeless attack because she doesn't listen. And look, Denth is a bad guy. I totally get that. Mm-hmm. But Denth is like, we shouldn't do this. This is dangerous. You're gonna, like, people are going to die. And then they do.
Yeah.
Like, and that is Vivenna's fault, right? Because Vivenna goes into all of these situations without a plan. And so the number of people from her country she is getting killed by being ignorant and arrogant in her desire to do her thing to save her sister.
Yeah.
Which is why I keep calling her selfish. Because it's her sister that she's saving instead of all of these other people. How much blood is she going to spill across the tiles of Teteller in order to save Ciri from a fate that Ciri is enjoying?
Yeah.
And, like, falling in love and having a good time. Vivenna's imagination of what Ciri's going through is causing her to get people murdered.
But, to be fair, if you were Vivenna, would you think that Ciri was being anything other than raped and, like, locked away? I'm just saying that Vivenna has every reason to believe what she believes.
Vivenna reveals in this chapter that it isn't about Ciri, it's about the fact that she didn't get to be the important thing she wanted to be.
Sure. I am just saying...
It is her own words...
No, but I am just saying that, like, that she has no reason to believe that Ciri is, like, happy and healthy.
But her internal monologue about it is not, I really care about Ciri. Her internal monologue is, I didn't get to be important.
You just brought up the point that she's there, like, that Ciri is happy and, like, Vivenna, like, maybe should. But
my point is that she, if she wasn't selfish, she would be upset that Ciri is going through what she's going through, but acknowledge that it is what she was supposed to do and it is what is best for the country, right? It is what she was willing to do for her country.
I mean, maybe they're still going to go to war.
She is saying that what Vivenna's position on Ciri is I should be allowed to make that choice, but she shouldn't be allowed to make that choice because I say so.
Well, she didn't get the choice.
I get that. I totally understand. But she is making a choice for Vivenna that is not in line with what we know Ciri wants. Because I don't know that Vivenna cares about what Ciri wants, because Vivenna's internal monologue in this section is, I was supposed to be important and I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm upset about it.
Yeah. I hear you.
And that is gross to me. To use the pretense of my sister's being raped so that you can do actions so that you can feel important because you feel like your time to be important was taken away from you is a little bit gross.
Well, okay. I mean, everyone has multiple motivations. Samantha, thank you for that super chat. I am wearing Revlon Kiss Cushion Lip Tint. And this is what it looks like. I don't know. Put it in front of my eyeballs. Cushion lip tint. I don't know what color it is. It says 230 on the bottom. It's good. It's nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I just mean that, like, Vivenna, when we got to the point in this reading where Vivenna literally is like, no, the reason, the actual, and I think it might have been in conversation with Death, but
yeah.
The actual reason I'm here is that I was supposed to be important and I'm not anymore.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, fuck you.
Okay, but I'm saying people are way more complex than that, and that there's probably several reasons, and that is a big one of them that she is acknowledging. But like, Ciri's not nothing, like not a part of it at all.
No, but I think that if Vivenna genuinely wanted this to be about other people,
yeah, she would
use her fucking brain, rub 2 brain cells together, and come up with plans that don't get so many people murdered while she accomplishes nothing.
So far, people have not gotten hurt. She's been like...
what do you mean? The lifeless raid the fucking
Before this part, she's been doing great.
Lemix gets murdered immediately upon her getting to town.
She doesn't know. How is she supposed to have any control over that? She arrives, and he is already poisoned.
Because she sent the letter ahead.
What?
Yeah. How do you think they knew where to meet her?
And how the fuck is she supposed to know if I send this letter, this guy's gonna get poisoned? That is a fucking leap.
No, it isn't. If I engage in subterfuge in the city, I am putting the people I'm engaging in subterfuge with's life in danger.
Yeah, it's a spy who works for her family.
That she doesn't know.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't. She's never met him. They've engaged in a couple of letters. By choosing to go to Hallandren, she knew she was putting people's lives in danger.
Okay.
And the first person she contacts in Hallandren, we now know, died for it. Okay. Parlin has now died for it. Like, everybody whose life she has touched in Hallandren
putting Lemix on Vivenna is a step too far. That is so fucking, like, I know the future of you.
If she did not go, he would be alive.
But he is a spy. His life is always at risk because of the job that he does for their kingdom.
100%. I'm not saying that it isn't.
So her meeting with him does not, like, really, like, she couldn't have known that would immediately change that risk in that, like, before she even fucking got to the city.
Arzu, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you,
but
Arzu.
Isn't becoming more self-aware a good thing?
Absolutely.
Not when the way that you become more self-aware is that you finally realize you're fucking up because you're like, oh, I've gotten a lot of people killed. It's wild how many people have died because of my ignorance.
Well, yeah, she feels really bad.
Yeah. She's gotten many people killed. She should feel bad.
Yeah, she made one...
That's not an excuse.
She made one big mistake, and people like
she has made
far up until this point,
but
she does the salt, she does the food, like there's like a strategic thing where they're not hurting people deliberately.
Babe,
but she
Dent
is like
manipulating her into those things. She doesn't even know why she's doing them.
Okay, but
Dent has to like hold her by the hand, and now we know Dent is not working towards her interests. She has everything she has done in this book has been a mistake bred of her ignorance and her showing up in the city.
The plan was pretty solid. Dent is
what plan?
The plan to affect the food and supply lines.
But that is all a fucking lie. It's all a smokescreen.
Doesn't matter. It still works.
But we don't know who it's for. It's not for Idris. That is just what Dent is saying.
Well, then who would it be for?
Whoever hired Dent. It's not for Idris. It's not her plan.
Dent is going along with what Vivenna wants because he doesn't want anyone else to get to Vivenna. Whether or
Dent
not
has to explain after they do stuff why they did it. Vivenna does not know why they're doing things.
They explain that for our benefit. Vivenna's like, you're right, this was a good idea that we came up with together. They explain it for the audience's benefit, not for Vivenna's.
Babe, no, Vivenna doesn't understand what Dent is doing. Dent is using the fact that he has the princess to do what his employer wants, but it is not to benefit Vivenna's.
I think you are being so harsh and unrealistic.
Why would you hire Dent to kidnap Vivenna to then work against your interests? That doesn't make any sense.
We don't know what Dent's employer's interests are.
It has to be opposite of Vivenna.
No, it all it has to be is that Vivenna can't go home to Idris and can't be like contacted by her father, right? And so Dent is hired to kidnap Vivenna, but Vivenna can't know she has been kidnapped. And so Dent needs to follow Vivenna's plans.
But why would somebody who wants Idris to succeed do that?
We don't know what they want. You're assuming
I'm
that
assuming
Dent's
that it's
employer
the people who
is
are
working
against Vivenna.
Idris.
Yes, because it would be insane to be like, I really want Idris to succeed. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to kidnap the Princess of Idris and not let her contact Idrians and kill every Idrian who shows up.
She might be a bargaining chip for something else. Like there are so many possibilities.
I really don't like this book. The more we talk about it, I was like kind of on board with, but like the more we're talking about it now, I'm like, you could be right, I could be right. There is so little evidence of what we're talking about that we're just like, we are trying to make this interesting because it kind of isn't.
I just think that you are making some assumptions that are a little bit unfair.
What is my assumption that's unfair?
Your assumptions that Vivenna has had absolutely no plans in no part in the planning. That Dent is doing that the food supply lines are from Dent's employer and not from Vivenna. You're assuming what Dent's employer's intentions are. Like there's just a lot of things.
I really think that you're being generous to Vivenna in the reading of how Dent seems to explain to her what they are doing.
What do you mean? Vivenna's idea is the letter. They literally talk about the salt and how the salt affects. Yeah, the letters that they make the scribes do to make it seem like some of the priests are like corrupt or whatever. Like there are things in there that are partially Vivenna's plans, not entirely Vivenna's plans, but she does have a hand in it. She's not sitting there watching everything happen around her. And that's what I mean is I think you're being like a little too harsh because she is trying to do something. I agree. She's very naive. She's not great at what she's trying to do, but she's not doing nothing.
I think the last part of this book will prove one of us to be right, and I really, really do not think that it's you.
I don't know what that means because the proof is literally in this section.
It isn't.
Yeah, where Vivenna, they're literally talking about the plans.
I genuinely think that we are going to find out that all of the things that Dent have been doing, I think the most generous read you can give it towards Vivenna is that they are things that Idrians would want, but Dent is doing them to push the city towards war by setting up that there is an Idrian princess in Teteller is causing these problems.
Yeah, maybe.
Which would get many more Idrians killed.
Yeah, possibly.
Because Vivenna is just fucking up everything.
Here's the thing. I understand that completely. But if you were Vivenna, you've never left your home. You're a complete, like you're an ignorant child.
Yeah.
You show up to your dad's spy, who's been their spy for like a long time, like someone that you trust.
Yeah.
And the people that he has employed are like, well, we need an employer. If you got money, we'll work for you.
That's how employment
would you
always goes,
suspect that they were kidnapping you?
I would. Because
I wouldn't.
If I grew up being told my whole life that people with a lot of breath can't get sick, I think that I would remember that while watching someone with a lot of breath get sick.
Well, we were told that in the beginning of the book, and you didn't call it, so...
Because I didn't grow up in that culture, and it wasn't something I was taught about.
But she's not in that culture. She's like, breath bad.
She recognizes all of the heightenings, though. She knows what they all are.
Yeah, she's learned about them so that she has...
So this is a person who...
But she hasn't studied her whole life.
There is one line in the book that mentions that, and I missed that one line. I didn't grow up knowing that as a fact, right? And so Vivenna forgetting that is more egregious than us forgetting that.
Sure.
Especially because I mostly forgot it because I don't care that much about the book. So like the details of this book slide over me a little bit because I'm not that interested. Vivenna forgetting that is more egregious to me.
Sure, yeah. I think it's a huge oversight, but I'm also like, she's a fucking child. Like, yeah.
She's not a child. She's like 24.
No, she's 20 years old.
She can't be.
She is 20 years old.
Okay, so series 17, and there's 2 people between them.
I don't know.
So what? It's 20, 19, 18, and 17?
No, the son might be older. I actually don't know how old
I thought
the
Vivenna was
is.
the oldest. And then the son, and then the daughter, and then and then Ciri.
I mean...
So that would be 2019, 18.
Sorry.
She's 22. I was right.
No, you said 24.
I was close. As close as you were. We were similarly close.
We were the exact same. Okay. She's 22.
Right. Because at 22, she had to get married. So,
I was a nightmare at 22.
But she's not a child.
Your brain develops at like 25.
Okay, whatever.
Would you date a 22-year-old?
22, yeah. That would be the absolute bottom. If you're old enough to have, if you have like a college degree, that's the limit for me.
Sure. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I would date someone who
has
a
very, very stretched limit.
If you have like a fucking degree in business, yeah.
Yeah.
But not if you're not graduated yet. If you're 22 and like in your final semester,
you have to have graduated and be 22. You can't just be 22. Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, chapter 32.
Pink Armando, I graduated college at 22.
Yeah.
That's when I got my degree.
I got my diploma at 20. I didn't do a full degree.
Yeah, but I wouldn't date someone with a diploma.
We literally went to school when we were 18. You know, we're like married, right?
I know that was the joke.
Just checking. Oh my god.
Anyone under 25 is a child to him?
Yes, he has.
I mean, like, I say I would date a 22-year-old. You would have to, but it would have to be a like specifically mature 20. You know what I mean? Like, I mostly say that to argue with my wife here.
Levitt has a college degree in marrying the God King. Yes.
And apparently in how quickly you should escape when you're kidnapped.
Yeah. Submissive and breedable.
I laughed out loud at that.
What?
At her being like, oh my god, my brilliant lessons told me that you should escape fast. It's like...
Yeah.
Of course you should escape fast when you're kidnapped. What?
Yeah. No, I'm not.
You should escape before they move you to their safest. Like, yeah, no fucking shit. What college degree did you have to get to fucking understand that information?
Fucking the God King is the college degree that she has achieved. Oh my god.
No, she has no idea how to untie knots when her hands are tied by regular rope behind her back. But her kidnapping lessons taught her to escape fast.
To be fair, I don't. That's a less a how-to, and depending on how they tie it.
But if I was like taking anti-kidnapping classes, you would think that would come up.
Anti-kidnapping.
You think
classes?
That would be wrong. She's also tied to a doorknob. Like, it's not like the craziest. She's not tied to like metal bars. How are you not able to get off of a fucking door? What kind of doorknob is this that you're like you can't pull it out of the fucking door? You're in the slums. You're telling me that it's a solid oak door? Fucking put your feet against the wall and pull. You might dislocate your shoulder, but you're going to pull that doorknob out.
She does not have a high strength score, okay?
I just like, yeah.
Yeah. Siri is...
Chapter 32. We're talking a lot, guys, because the show's going to be really short, and so we're trying to extend it. I don't know if you've noticed that we could probably be done in 2 hours.
No, I feel like we're having...
Well, no, I just feel like we're not going over today. So, like, if you're like, you guys are having really long conversations, it's because we have time. The show doesn't need to be 3 hours, but it feels like it should be. I don't know. It's weird.
At this point, we've like just established it, so.
Yeah, I feel like we're going too fast, but I just don't have much to say.
No, I hear you.
Siri is burning her sheets because this culture is the most wasteful bullshit in the world.
Oh, yeah. All of her dresses get burned after she wears them and shit. I don't know. There's got to be some weird, like, magic thing where you can take people's DNA and do shit with it. Like, that has to be the explanation, right? Otherwise,
that's another mystery that has been answered. Why do they burn everything?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I get that T'Teller is rich, but, like, if we can burn you can wear a different dress every day, Rich.
Yeah.
The Idrians should want to be under T'Teller rule. They've got money.
Only the fucking
and Idris
royals.
Doesn't.
The king is gonna be fucking murdered. Like,
I'm saying, like, if there isn't enough wealth in this nation for this, like, the Idrians being poor is a crime.
But the Idrians are raised to think that that's like so fucking sinful that they're like super prideful and wasteful and.
But I'm saying like the T'Tellans could be like 6% less wasteful, and still pay for everything. It just seems like there's a ridiculous amount of wealth in this country.
Yeah, it's those dyes. Well, and they kind of touch on that Hallandren is this like paradise. Like when they first got there, right? Yeah. It was this like jungle that had these like special fucking flowers, you know, like it really is something incredibly special.
Chris Pilkington says monarchies do typically have a new outfit every day.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's true. Because the king King Charles wears the same fucking robe that his great-great-great-great-grandfather wears at all of his events.
I think there's there are specific ceremonial things, but
I don't think they wear a new suit every single day. I think he probably has a closet of suits.
No, I mean
that are really well tailored.
Historically, you would show your wealth by. It's like in high fashion where people are like, oh, I can't wear the same outfit twice. That's a thing that people believe because it makes them look wealthier.
But that is their event outfits, not their
Not always. I have seen girls on the internet will literally not wear the same outfit twice. They'll style pieces from that outfit with different things sure. And then they will get rid of it.
I know that happens.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that we live in a culture that is disgustingly wealthy. We don't participate in that.
Elizabeth I changed her dress many times a day. Yeah, having that kind of status. Oh, yeah, but
they wouldn't burn the dress afterwards.
No, I don't know if they would burn it. No, the burning is what's weird.
Yeah,
the wastefulness is is pretty human.
Oh, trust me. I know. It's why I don't sleep at night. You know what I mean? I get that. I know that it exists.
Humans are fucked up.
I'm just saying that I don't know. It does not matter. It's ridiculous but the sheets, it's not even clothing. She burns the sheets.
That's what I mean.
I still think it is because they're worried that the gods' cum is going to be on it and a woman's going to shove it in her pussy. And now we're demonetized again.
Great. Talking about shoving things in the pussy.
Hey, if girls will go into the bathroom and get the cum out of a condom and shove it up in themselves to get pregnant with a guy who doesn't have any money, they'll do it for a king.
That's not a thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
That cannot be a thing.
Oh, yeah.
If that is a thing, I will...
Wasn't that the insinuation? Was that a Drake thing?
I will literally
Some celebrity complained that a woman he slept with, took the condom out of the garbage to try and get pregnant. Oh, it was
someone that she slept with. I thought you meant someone went to a fucking random condom. They don't know who used it.
No. It was a celebrity. No, I'm saying specifically for the god thing, baby trapping. Yeah.
Ah! Yeah.
That's a thing, right? I'm not totally crazy here.
That is fucked up.
Was it Drake? I feel like if I Google Drake.
That is...
Drake.
So fucked. What the
condom
hell? What the hell is wrong with people? Putting hot sauce in a condom? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. So, that's what it was. Drake was accused of putting hot sauce in the condom after they had sex to discourage women from putting his cum inside them to try and get pregnant off his jizz. Because he didn't want to have a baby with them. So he would jizz in the condom and then he'd put hot sauce in it so they wouldn't
Drake, just
I knew there was a crazy story.
What? That is so much easier.
I knew there was an insane story about it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Wild, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we?
I hate it here. Okay. Wild. Fucking wild. Yeah.
So anyway, Siri,
Siri
meets Hoyd and gets told the story of the god again.
I mean, we do learn some stuff about, way in the beginning.
Yeah, Peacekeeper dispelled Kalad's phantoms to win the mini-war.
Yeah. Oh, we learned that Siri is descended from the very, very first Returned.
Which implies...
that they can have babies.
That Returned other than the God King can have kids. Because we've been told that only the God King can have children.
Yes, and the Returned can't. No, well, wait, but here's the thing. Here's the question. Mm-hmm. Did the Returned get his wife pregnant before he returned or after he returned? Because they were like, what? Oh, his pregnant wife. So maybe she was already pregnant and then he died and returned and came back.
I don't know why that would give them special hair powers.
That I have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe he did that for fun. He gave it to his children.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, Light Song at the end is maybe if your husband dies, you can go home. And Siri, who has now fallen in love with her hot, tall boy,
she starts crying.
Leaves so that Light Song doesn't watch her weep. Chapter 33, Jules is repairing Claude. Oh, we totally skipped over. The Lifeless, in the attack, Vivenna is attacked, and Claude saves her.
Oh, yes.
She tries to awaken some stuff to defend her, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So Claude is ripped apart in that attack. And Jules repairs him by like screwing his muscles back together.
Yeah, she screws a new muscle on him because the other one got ripped.
Filling him with ichor alcohol.
Which is a thing that you want to put in your, like, awakened lifeless stuff. Yeah. Which, because the squirrel also has it, and Lifesong is like, this guy's a pro because he put the alcohol in it. Yeah. So I'm assuming when a corpse dies that the blood all dries up. And so if you don't want them to be a flabby monster, skin monster, you put the alcohol in them to keep them, like,
the
round.
Blood all dries up. No, I think it's embalming. I think it's supposed to be like embalming fluid.
Oh. Never mind.
But, yeah, I don't know that the blood dries up.
I just thought so they didn't look deflated.
I love the idea that it's so that they just don't look deflated. It makes no physical difference other than that. It's just so that they don't look deflated.
Well, I feel like you would be stronger if your arms were, like, droopy. That it, like, gives the muscles the strength again. Maybe.
That's so fucking funny. Oh,
I don't know. It wasn't meant to be a joke.
I thought it was so they didn't look deflated. Walk around like little balloons.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The lifeless are just water balloons. It's all a big water balloon fight.
No, otherwise they would look like the guy from Pan's Labyrinth. Or Mitch McConnell.
The guy from Pan's Labyrinth, Mitch McConnell.
You know what I mean.
Babe.
I thought you were about to choke and die for a second there. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You've seen the meme, okay? You've seen it.
Oh wow.
That was not an original joke, okay?
If anyone ever is like, why did you marry her? I'm like, she's funny. You don't expect it, and then she hits you with the guy from Pan's Labyrinth, Mitch McConnell. Oh wow.
Am I wrong?
Oh wow. That made this whole show worth it.
You're welcome.
This is where Jules makes her biggest mistake of the book so far, and accidentally lets Vivenna hear Claude's security phrase. In Jules' defense, she probably thinks that Vivenna's an idiot.
Too dumb to remember it.
Because you know what? I'm honestly the best thing Vivenna does in this book is remember a couple of words.
Hey,
good for her.
She's got to have some redeeming quality.
And so she's like, "Hey, Dent, you know what? I need you to teach me how to awaken. It's time."
It is time.
I hate this kingdom more than anything.
Yeah.
I hate everything about it, and I want to burn it to the fucking ground.
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
And, he's like, all right, let's fucking go. And then she kind of learns a couple of things about commands and about, like,
kind of
words. And she doesn't actually awaken anything, but she kind of gets the basics enough that she'll be able to figure it out on her own later. Until
she goes upstairs. Well, yes. Yes. Until she goes upstairs and is kidnapped.
Well, before we get to the kidnapping, Parlin comes back, and they have a brief conversation where he's like, "Oh, is Jules all right?" And she's like, "Why do you ask about Jules?" And he's like, "Cause she's nice.
She's nice to me, and you're mean,
and you don't laugh at my jokes." They kind of have a similar relationship to you and I. I get you around places, you're mean to me, and you don't laugh at my jokes. Am I just like your fucking squire?
When am I mean to you? Because
most of the time when the cameras are off.
Evidence.
I'm mean to you on camera evidence. For comedy, and you're mean to me off camera when you know you can get away with it.
So it sounds to me like you have no evidence of this.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Just checking.
It's a good thing I can drive, or else you'd probably have me killed, like Parlin.
Oh my god.
So then, as he leaves in a huff, and she leaves in a huff, and then the Drapes kidnap her, which is amazing.
The Drapes kidnap. Drake kidnaps her.
Human again. Drake kidnaps her. Oh my god, yeah. Metro Boomin. I got something for your next diss track. Kendrick Lamar. Drake kidnapped a princess.
Crazy.
No, Drake wouldn't kidnap her. She's of age. Chapter 34. That was for legal reasons. That was a joke.
That was a yoke.
I'm making jokes.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, Drake.
Yeah.
A fellow Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't remind me, okay? Yeah. Oh my god.
Chapter 34, Light Song, is like...
It doesn't
I don't know.
understand why who has the commands.
No, All Mother still controls hers but won't give them up.
Yeah, but he's like, why? I understand why I got commands, but why is like the gods of like matronly shit got the army commands?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The government structure of Tutelar is nonsense. The idea that you like wake up one day with no memories and they're like, oh, by the way, you are the only person who votes on sewage, and you're like, okay,
great, I love that.
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what sewage... Wait, I know what the word sewage means, but like...
Like, and how do they
I guess I pooped in my previous life.
But also, how do they pick what the gods are the god of when they're reawakened? Do they just, like, literally, like, do a fucking Wheel of Fortune spin? And
I think
like,
it's whatever's available.
You are going to be the god of... flowers.
I think
cool.
it is.
All
I
right,
think
the
it
god
is
of
a whatever is like the. I think there's probably a list of gods.
And you
right?
just take the next one.
It's the next one who recently, or the like, who on the list of like. There's probably a few important ones that have to be filled at all times. So like, if you have lifeless commands and you give your breath away, those lifeless commands are probably immediately given away to somebody else.
Yeah.
But some of the other like roles in court probably come up in like an order.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That checks out. Honestly, I like Light Song's theory about a drunk monkey. That probably is.
It's about the same
accurate.
effectiveness, but
yeah, exactly.
I also love that the gods can just choose to give away their role.
Kind of.
Well, no. Once you don't have the lifeless commands anymore, you don't have your role anymore.
I mean, yeah.
Like Blushweaver doesn't have to vote his way because there's nothing he can do. She's changed the commands. Nobody can steal them from her.
That is true.
Like you would have to go to war with Blushweaver, who has half of the army.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, Hope, whatever, the kid guy, terrible.
Once he's given up those commands, he is literally...
He has no, like, plan for if she just decides to be like, no, just kidding.
Yeah.
Unless he just fucking, like, gaslights her and tells her to vote the actual opposite way of how he wants to vote so that she votes the opposite way, which is actually what he wants.
Yeah. Chapter 34, we're still there, but it's now Cicerina's turn. She is watching the court stuff. And then Blushweaver comes over and gives her the, like, Mean Girls, that's my Aaron, don't you fuck him, Lindsay Lohan.
Slut!
I would give anything to go back to 2004 and put out Warbreaker with Blushweaver, played by Rachel McAdams, Sissy, played by Lindsay Lohan. Siri. The actor who played Aaron playing Light Song. You get Gretchen.
It's October 3rd.
Yeah. But it's the cast of Mean Girls as those Mean Girls playing the characters from this book.
Oh, God. Okay.
Lizzie Kaplan as...
Here's the thing, though. Lindsay Lohan's character, Katie Heron, is basically Vivenna. She shows up to school and doesn't know fucking shit. She doesn't know what high school is. Like,
I know. She's Siri.
Sure, okay.
It's the same... Guys, this is just Mean Girls. It's Jeffrey T. Thank you for that super chat. Can't watch the whole book club because Warbreaker is boring. Agreed. Just wanted to tip y'all for taking one for the team and reading it.
Thank you.
Wow, you fucking knew.
Appreciate it.
Fuckers knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. That's why they made Bingo.
You fuckers knew.
That's why they made Bingo.
I am furious. I am livid. I am
Sparta.
Batman.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We went different.
Yeah.
Friendship. That's fine. That's fine.
The line is not I am Sparta. It's... Have you seen 300?
I have.
This is Sparta.
Actually, it's been a while.
I know. You do like to watch movies where men are shirtless.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I don't know. Homophobes?
No, because they're probably gay.
Oh, fair. They just watch it in the dark by themselves at night.
Yeah.
Just furiously jacking off to Gerard Butler.
They hate women. They just want to pretend... They think that they want to fuck them, but they don't. Yeah. They don't get it.
We call that Andrew Tating.
Jeffrey, thank you for that super chat. I get people who don't like this book. But you could play bingo.
I'm hoping the last third is interesting. I really am. Like, I'm really hoping that next week we're like, okay, it was worth it.
I think it will be, but I don't know if it will like be worth it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think I'll ever be like, wow, I've got to go back and read Wordbreaker again, unless there's like a lot of things that tie into the larger universe that I want to pick up on later.
I'm hopeful that it is interesting enough that it was worth it to read it once, but that I know that I would love for it to be so interesting that I want to read the whole book again.
Yeah.
But
and here's the thing, there are things that I like about it. Like I said, the magic system is fucking cool. I think that the plot, if it was actually like condensed a little bit, it is interesting. Yeah. Like, I think that the mechanics, I think that there's stuff in it that's fucking cool.
I also think that if I could have just breezed through it, I would have enjoyed it more. Yes. This is a book where stopping and talking about it in the middle is a little bit...
It's tough, yeah.
Because it's just too long. This book, I really think that this book...
could be like 350 pages.
If we had cut even like 150 of the 420 so far. Like, if we were at like book page 270, I think that I would like it more. It really is just that it is interesting but too stretched.
Yeah.
I think that there is an edited version of this novel that's really great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's just, in this form, the story doesn't work.
Yeah. Joshua... Thank you. Welcome back to the Nerd Table. As someone who did like Warbreaker, though, it was much better on a reread. Yeah, I have a feeling because of how it ties into other things that might be the case, but we'll see.
Siri gets in the bath, and Bluefingers is a creep who's like, I'm only going to talk to you if you're naked. The implication from Bluefingers here was really weird.
No, he doesn't want... He knows that his people are the ones bathing her because the Pankal servants get like the worst jobs. So he's not worried about being like overheard. Oh, I didn't get
that part of it.
No, he's literally like, I'm not a fucking creep. I have daughters that are older than you. Like, fuck off.
Him being like, I'm only going to talk to you into the bath. I was like,
no, it's
that's a weird thing to say.
It's because he knows which servants are going to be there.
I know, but he doesn't. He could like turn around.
Sure, but they're like whispering. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. You're probably right. I missed that they were all Pankal. I thought they were like risking that the servants didn't say anything.
Well, they are, but also everyone is wearing brown, which means that they're Pankal, which are Bluefingers people. So.
All right, I didn't put that together. You've changed my mind on it then.
Nailed
Bluefingers, you're not a creep.
Guys, was that on the bingo card? Changing Nerdy's mind.
It doesn't happen often, so probably not. Yeah. They've only put things on the bingo card that happen every single episode.
No, I know. Yeah.
Chapter 35. Vivenna very slowly escapes.
Yes. And we reacted to this chapter.
Yeah.
And the reader, the narrator, also
really
reads it
took her time.
Very slowly.
She milked this one for all it was worth.
Yeah. It's, if you want to go watch it, our reaction is over on Patreon, or if you're a YouTube member, you can watch that. You gotta have your name turn green. It's like the opposite of the awakening stuff.
Yeah.
You go from gray to green instead of the other. You know what? It works better in my head.
You get your breath back.
You get,
Yeah.
Don't
oh my
be
God.
A drab.
Should we change the membership to drabs of the, or, oh no, wait, because drabs of, so.
Drabs would be gray.
So if you're not a member, you're a drab.
Yeah.
That seems
so
awful.
mean. No.
That seems awful.
No.
All right. So Vivenna is like, oh no, and then Vatcher doesn't reveal any information to her, and he leaves. Oh no, he throws a sword at her, and he's like, unsheath it, and then she does, and then she vomits. Which is Claris's favorite thing. She loves when people vomit. And then,
that's the one thing I don't do.
I know you don't do vomit.
No,
I don't really do either because it makes me vomit. I am
I'm a
sympathetic.
Yeah. I'm like, nope, I'm out. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Good. Have fun with that. Which sucks because I'm sorry, but you're loud.
Oh, when I vomit?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Right?
I'm sitting there and I'm like, ah.
No, it's a weird thing. I make so much. It's like I think it's because my lungs are so big.
It sounds like you're getting punched in the chest.
I know. It's very odd. And it hurts.
Yeah.
Every time I vomit, I am in pain in my ribs for days.
Yeah.
I think it's because my diaphragm is so powerful. I know that sounds, but from 25 years
Guys,
of
my diaphragm is so powerful. I'm teasing.
But you know what I mean? From 25 years of opera voice training.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That is
it's a muscle that I've worked out
yes.
so much more than the average person.
Yeah.
And so when I make that It is, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Because I'm so, okay, this is something weird. I am so cognizant of my vocal cords when I'm vomiting, and I'm trying really hard
not to hurt them. Yeah.
That I like really like open everything up and I resonate really hard because I'm trying to get my vocal folds out of the way, like I was trained as a singer.
Yeah.
And
because
it makes it worse.
Is like it is bad for your voice. It's why if you get sick like the next day, you have that raspiness.
Yeah, and so I'm like, it's like an active intention of like making everything as open as possible so things get out faster, but it creates a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Vasher eventually leaves to go undo the things that she's been doing because Vasher is trying to bring down this government, but the things that she's been doing have been helping this government because Denth is working against her, and Clarus is wrong about that.
Sure.
I know, but I this is why I think you're wrong, is because of the way Vasher talks about it and what we know his goals to be. I think that this scene with Vasher proves my version of it and not yours.
I just assumed that, like, Vasher was there to, like, fuck up the priests and the religion. And so, like, the people being in a worse position gave the priests more power.
Why would that give them more power?
Well, because when the people are suffering, the richest people, they're fine. Like, they're, like, they have more sway.
No, when the people are suffering, they revolt and they riot.
Against literal gods? I don't know about that.
Yeah, because if your gods can't provide for you, you topple your gods. That's kind of how that goes down.
I'm going to be honest, definitely, I'm thoroughly confused.
When the food stops coming into the city, the heads of the people in charge get cleaved off of their bodies.
Oh, no, they have enough supplies to be in the city. They don't have enough supplies to send people out to wage war. Which is interesting, though, because the lifeless don't need to eat. So I think 40,000 lifeless would be enough to go take Idris, but I also don't know how many people are in Idris.
Yeah.
So.
So then he leaves. He fucks off. He's like, if you leave, I will find you and I will kill you. And she's like, all right. So then she learns how to do commands. And it is not by forcing it. It is by letting go. And I think that Brandon Sanderson might have watched a movie called Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Frozen.
No, this is the most, like, use the Force Luke shit.
Yeah, I know.
It isn't by forcing the commands. It is by letting go and embracing the natural force and letting it flow through you and guide you.
That is
it's Star Wars.
That is a very, like, magical fantasy idea.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's just weird that they use the word command. Like, it should be like suggest.
Suggest.
Embrise says it's also a bit Wheel of Time. I don't know if you know this, Embrise, but Star Wars predates the Wheel of Time by like 20 years.
Like 20 minutes. Yeah.
20 minutes.
20 minutes. About.
On God's
give
schedule.
Or take. No. I'm being goofy.
It's just interesting because I think that this is trying not to be Dune.
We've been unduned.
Well, no, but I mean that. Like, the speech in Dune works a very specific way, and it is more forceful.
Oh, yeah.
It is about getting in there and forcing it.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is a little bit trying not to be the voice from Dune and changing that up a little bit. Because otherwise it just kind of is the voice from Dune, but on inanimate objects.
Right.
Okay. And with color involved.
Sure, yeah, that's fair.
Maybe Arrakis maybe the voice doesn't work as good on Arrakis because there's no color. Maybe this planet is Arrakis in the Cosmere.
Like orange, huh? Is Arrakis in the Cosmere?
I mean, there's like one color, but there's not a rainbow.
No, the eyes are blue.
That's true.
There's two colors.
They could like be
on
like
Arrakis.
I take my color and I shoot it at you.
That would be fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyways, she figures out, she does the command. She like, let's go. She does, the rope unties itself. She runs through the streets and it remembers where the safe house is.
Look, Vivenna's one skill. Her one skill is remembering words that people said. Her memory's
pretty good.
Yeah, she's got a good memory.
Yeah, her memory's pretty good.
She remembers that Parlin was given directions
yeah.
months ago.
Yeah.
And uses them to stumble her way back into the safe house.
Yeah, and so she goes into the basement to hide, and she finds Parlin's dead body. Yeah. She finds Tonkfa's animals tortured and hung up on the walls.
Yeah.
And it turns out, Tongfa and Denth actually bad guys. They're definitely bad guys.
Or good guys. Vivenna might be the bad guy.
No.
The book is a little confusing on that. Like,
anyone who tortures animals can't be the good guy. That would be a really weird thing of Brandon Sanderson to throw in there. You know what I mean? That like, you know, that's a bit of a giveaway.
Okay.
I think that the torturing animals thing really solidifies them as the baddies. Denth is like, how'd you figure out that it was just that we kidnapped you or whatever? And she's like,
oh no, I did not figure that out.
Didn't figure that out. Oh look, my wrists are bleeding. Oh shit, Vasher's on his way probably. Here's what I don't understand.
Lay it on me.
If Vasher is like, if they're so worried about Vasher killing them, why didn't Vasher just like, he found their safe house because he stole Vivenna, so why didn't he just kill them then?
Because I don't think that he thinks that he can take all three of them and the lifeless.
Really? Oh, I thought the sword would just kind of do it.
Yeah, but they know what the sword does. So I think that if you are aware of what the sword's ability is, it probably can't affect you.
Oh.
Right?
Interesting.
Like if you know that the sword tempts you into killing yourself and you start to feel that temptation, it's like an advantage on your wisdom save.
I see, and you say kill yourself. I literally thought the sword had just like magic like stuff that you touch it and it's like dead.
But then why would it be about tempting people? I think the temptation is to draw it.
Because the temptation is to like touch it. I don't know.
But the guys that get killed in the alley specifically have wounds on them. It's not just that it like gets in their mouth, it's that they've been cut. And so I don't think the sword like comes out of the sheath and then like starts flying around like a spiritual weapon.
So does the sword put itself back in the sheath then? Because that's what I don't get. Is that the sword is always in the sheath?
I don't know. The book will tell us.
Is the sword too dangerous to be out of the sheath?
Yes, because the sheath protects the people around it from the full temptation of the black smoke.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or not. I don't know. We'll find out later.
Maybe.
The book will tell us, or it won't.
Yeah.
So anyway, she is about to get killed by Denth. He realizes that she didn't leave, but he still has to kill her because he kind of told her that she's working for somebody. And she attempts to awaken Tongfa's cloak. It doesn't work.
So she uses the security phrase on Claude and makes him attack. So.
And then she runs out into the street and runs into the darkest, smallest, dirtiest, dankest, most awful alley. And that's where the
dankest of memes.
The reading ends this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun.
It's like, I understand why people asked us to react to this chapter.
Yeah.
It is the surprising moment. I wish that we had gotten, and it's the title of this video, right? A crumb of context from this interaction, where I feel like I am just as in the dark about what's going on. I now know that Denth isn't on their side, but that's all we get out of this. There's no... I could not tell you who he's working for because I don't really know what people want.
I like mysteries that start with a certain number of questions. And for every question that's answered, there's kind of like a new one. And you kind of have... Until you get to the end where things get answered and answered and answered. I need the answers to like keep up with the number of questions being asked, and right now I have so many more questions than I do answers.
Because now I need an explanation for why this was less complicated than just kidnapping her. When they had every opportunity in the world. Well,
why would you kidnap her against her will and keep her when she can just be, she will choose to stay with you. Like that's...
Because this, okay. If Denth was going along with her plans...
Yeah.
It would have been so much easier to just kidnap her, right? Like if they've been running around the city trying to keep her alive while doing a bunch of shit she wanted to do, that is infinitely more complicated than locking her up in a basement
unless Denth's person wants her to be seen and fucking things up.
Sure. But then I need an explanation for why, right? The problem, the thing I'm saying isn't that there is no possible explanation. I'm saying that this now needs to be explained as well.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about the questions.
So like
severely outweigh any of the answers that we've gotten.
I feel like the end of this book needs to spend so much time answering questions that it's not really going to be about what the characters are doing. It's going to be about what the characters have done. That's a spoiler.
Don't do it. Light Blind Fool, thank you. Welcome back to the nerd table.
I will say this without saying what it is. I'm with Nightblood. Everybody in this book needs Nightblood's kind of help. I agree.
Hi, would you like to kill somebody today?
There is an anime that we watched that really lost me in the second half of its run because it started to be about what non-main characters did off screen and not what our main characters were doing on screen.
Right.
And by the end of it, I love the first half of it so much.
Yeah.
And the second half, I think, really falls off because it becomes about off-screen actions more than on-screen.
Yeah.
This book is just the second half. The on-screen actions are less important to the plot than what a bunch of characters are doing off-screen all the time.
Yeah.
And I really I really hope that Brandon Sanderson books don't always follow this format of the Sander Ledge. I hope that is a thing that happens in some of his books, but not all of them, because it's a little tired already for me because I see it coming.
I just think it was much better done in Mistborn.
Yes.
I don't hate the structure of it. It's the
but Mistborn
holding
had
out
other
on,
things going on.
Yes, it's the holding out on too much in the first half. And then, it just, yeah.
Mistborn had really cool mystery and, moments of storytelling, though, in the first third. And part of it was the parts.
I agree, 100%.
The parts individually had their own plots.
Yes.
The parting out of Mistborn really helped.
Yes, I agree 100%.
The membership chat wouldn't let me say everything in this book needs to die. That's fair. There's probably reasons. We've received so many death threats that it kind of makes sense at this point that YouTube would block death threats. P-break. Does anyone have that on your bingo card? Well, we got to the end of the book. Guys, you have any questions you want me to answer? Claris is gone. We got through the reading. What's up? What's up, chat? How you feeling about stuff? Do we still like the book club? Should we change the format of book club to something else? What is your prediction for the rest of this book? I honestly, John, thank you for joining the Nargs. I think that I'm going to say at the end of this book that it got better, but it wasn't worth it. I think ultimately Vivenna is going to get the sword. How about when does that Fallout playthrough start? Fallout playthrough starts on Sunday, I think.
Oh.
I think I'm going to stream Sunday.
Okay.
I think. We might not happen. It depends on editing for Candela. But.
There's a lot of Candela editing that needs to be done. I thought it would be fun if you and I played them in opposite directions. So I'm going to start with 4 and you start with 1.
Wouldn't that mean you start with 76?
I don't know.
Okay. It's the newest one, so.
Is it?
Yeah.
Great. I was going to start with Fallout 4.
I will beat the entire franchise before you finish Baldur's Gate.
Maybe. Honestly, yeah, maybe.
I love you.
I love you too.
No,
you're not wrong.
I want to get back to streaming. I do want to get back to streaming. So I'm trying, guys. It's just honestly, getting Candela up this week is going to be hard.
Are you streaming on this channel? Because we had talked about
me streaming on Nerdy.
Yeah, I don't know if you still want to do that. Okay.
No, I think I'll stream Fallout on this channel because Fallout's happening on this channel.
Sure.
We'll see.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to start with... Blue says I'd start with 4. No, I'm going to do all of them. I'm going to start with 1, and then 2, then 3, then New Vegas, then 4, then 76.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to do them in the order they came out. I really like old games. I'm not someone who's going to be put off by old controls. I really, I grew up playing games in the 90s, so... Mm-hmm. Yeah. My prediction is that Vivenna is going to get the sword somehow, and that's going to be relevant to...
She can't even fucking hold it, though.
I don't know.
I
think that, Vasher is going to animate a piece of meat to become the God King's new tongue so that he can perform cunnilingus on his wife.
Oh, I thought you were going to say so he could speak.
That too.
Sure.
That's less important.
But wouldn't then Vasher control what it said?
No, because there's so many other pieces of the mouth that
That's
have
fair.
to move for speech.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with some predictions for this. I genuinely, I feel a little bit of frustration because I don't feel like I have enough information to really make any predictions that I would think are even possible.
This book honestly kind of feels like as the plot plays out, it's going to be the kind of plot movement where I go, sure.
If you say so.
You know what I mean? It's going to be like the kind of reveals where I'm like, yeah, that makes as much sense as anything else would have.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's well thought out, right? Like, I'm sure it all falls into place. Mm-hmm. But I think that, like, the way we got there is just a little too abstract.
Yeah, I understand. I do. I get it.
Yeah, I wish I liked this one. I actually like Elantris more than this. I thought the Mystery of Elantris was more fun. I thought
we're also done Elantris. Because here's the thing.
But even the first half.
At this point, like, in the first half of the book, we were like, what the fuck, guys?
Yes, but I was having more fun with that.
Okay.
I was having more fun being like, this is nonsense. And it's why I like bad movies, right? Like, I prefer Madam Web I would rather watch that than a boring movie that's kind of good but is mostly boring.
Right.
You know, like a adult drama that like wanted to be a Best Picture nominee but just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I would rather watch Madam Web and be like, this is crazy. Whereas this kind of feels like a bad adaptation of Death on the Nile. Where you're just kind of like, all right, there's enough champagne to fill the Nile.
I don't get that vibe at all, but okay.
I just mean that it's a mystery that I don't think is playing out very well.
Sure.
Right. And honestly, like, Raoden was so active. And I understood what he wanted. And I understood what his, like, immediate goals were, his long-term... Like, I got what he was doing and how it was relevant. Like, the difference between... Because Vivenna is sort of the Raoden of this book, right? Obviously very different, but in the, like, coming into a new place and trying to, like, drastically change it by, you know, putting together a group within a city that's, you know... It sort of has... She has Raoden vibes, but where Raoden was intentional and smart and winning and charming... Vivenna is demanding and, like, self-absorbed and a little bit useless.
Raoden was too perfect, though, so it's like...
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I agree with that. But I would rather lean more towards a too perfect character that is doing things that I can follow and I'm having fun with than a woman who's not doing things and doesn't understand why and doesn't have a great motivation and doesn't treat people around her well and...
Connor Crane asks, who do you think Lightsong was before and how did he die? Which is a really interesting question.
He was Sherlock Holmes.
Well, it's weird, right? Because if Lightsong before he died was someone and some role that we've never seen in the book before, it's not going to be very interesting. Because right now he feels like a cop, and we haven't seen any cops or detectives or anything like that at all. And so that who he was doesn't feel like it matters unless he was a priest or something. It is
really odd. One of the things that I think is really odd about Teller is that Vivenna and Dent have been doing all this fighting and everything. And, like, yes, we have the one, like, lifeless attack, but that doesn't feel like the police. That feels like genocide. Well, no, but, like, the genocide of the Idrians, right? Like, it feels like they're just going into the Idrian slum because people don't care about Idrians.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen any police officers. Like, we haven't even seen Dent. Usually a book like this will have a moment where Dent has to grease the wheels with a cop so that the police presence is relevant, but we, like, show their corruption.
Yeah.
They're just not here. There is
no presence.
They've broken the front door of a building in daylight and nobody showed up. It is a very odd, which is why it feels so freewheeling, is because, like, it feels like you're allowed to do whatever you want in the city because they get away with everything with no reference to a cop.
Lightsong was Miller from The Expanse.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. I think Lightsong could be played by him too. He's a great Thomas Jane. Yeah. Thomas Jane would be a great casting for Lightsong.
Yeah.
Thomas Jane sitting around and be like, I don't want to fucking do stuff. I could absolutely see him in this role.
Yeah, for
He'd
sure.
He'd kill it.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to do the, like, 7 foot tall Adonis, like, perfect
That wouldn't be
specimens.
that hard to do.
I just mean, like, I don't know. It's a lot of, like, CGI and...
Yeah, but not that much. Like, if fucking Gods of Egypt can do it and make fucking Nicholas Coster-Waldau 20 feet tall.
Do it poorly? Isn't it a bad
The CGI
movie?
isn't that bad.
Oh, okay.
It's just that the movie is racist and awful and very whitewashed and...
I love that for them.
Yeah, I like Nikolai Coster-Waldau a lot. I like Gerard Butler a lot. That was a big miss
But
for
like
both of
him,
them.
yeah, they're both playing Egyptian, and one of them is Scottish, and the other one is Norwegian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big miss. And look, the movie wouldn't be better if brown people were in those roles.
Right.
Like, the movie's still not very good, but it would have been less... It wouldn't have been
Cringe?
so uncomfortable to watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan Ritchson would be a good light song. I don't know. Alan Ritchson... No,
Who's
he's
that?
not... Alan Ritchson is Reacher. He's Hawk on Titans. He was... oh my god, from fucking Blue Mountain State. What was his
Haven't
character's
seen
name?
it, so it doesn't matter.
He's really hot. Oh, he was in the last Fantastic Four, or what was the last Fast and Furious movie called?
10? I don't know.
Fast X. He was the guy with Brie Larson in the
Wait, Brie Larson is in that movie?
Yes, him and Brie Larson were in the like techno screen room, and he's the guy in like he's really buff, blonde, in the suit in that movie. I love Thad Castle. Thank you so much, Thad Castle. And Michael Cera should be light song. That'd be funny. Who would actually be a good light song? I'm trying to think.
Song.
It would right now. It would be Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds would be light song.
Henry Cavill?
No, again,
that's
too
not
intense.
Bad. That's not bad.
You need someone who can play that like laissez-faire attitude.
Oh, okay.
He can't just be ripped. He has to be ripped and not give a shit, which Henry Cavill's not great at. I love Henry Cavill, but Henry Cavill puts his whole cavussy into everything he does.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, for the full book recap, we have to cast this.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll do
Should we
separate
do it
ones
together?
though. No, we'll do a competing PowerPoint.
Oh, for a full book recap.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll do a competing casting,
And chat will vote.
but we can use the same people because we won't tell each other anything.
We won't know. Yeah, we won't know. Okay, yeah, we can do
Henry
that.
Cavill could be Den. Henry Cavill could be Vasher. He would be a great Vasher.
Vasher, yeah. Yeah. He could also be King DDD or whatever. Just show up for 5 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah. Channing Tatum would be a great light song.
Okay, that's good.
Joe Manganiello.
Okay, stop giving us... We can't use these now, so stop it.
Yeah. Anyway, should we do high-low?
Let's do it.
This is high-low. This is where my family used to bond over the dinner table over commiserating over each other's lows, celebrating each other's highs because we're a blended family. We wanted to get along. It didn't work, but then it did. It took a couple of years, but now I love my stepsisters very much. In this version, Clara says her ho. She does her high.
Ho shit.
She does her high. I do my low. She does her low. I do my high because like good relationship, we compliment sandwich this bitch. And so Brandon Sanderson, this sandwich is for you. Clarus, what's your high?
My high was the conversation with Jules and Vivenna about Vivenna being like super fucking judgy, about Jules not having breath and being like, I understand you.
Really good. Yeah.
And Jules was like, the fuck you do. It sucks that Jules is a bad guy now. But like I just found that conversation to be really interesting because like she believes in a thing so hard. She did this for her family. Like she's like, a part of me literally serves the God, like serves God. Like this is it. That you can't understand what that means. Who the fuck do you think you are? I thought that conversation between them was very interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
And
it was well written.
Yeah, it was well written.
And it led to my favorite line, which is the like believing in any religion is arrogance.
Yeah, because then Vivenna fucking spirals. She's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
My whole life is a sham. What's your low?
My low is that the pacing of this book, for me, and if you feel differently, I totally understand, the pace of this book kills any interest in it for me. Even though there are things that I'm enjoying and that I'm interested in, the way that it is not the writing itself, but it is the like larger style of the execution of this book has made me just really not care about it in a way that is unfortunate because I think that there is really cool ideas in here that if presented in a more interesting package could have been a very exciting book.
Yeah.
Similar to like Emperor's Soul. I know Emperor's Soul is a short story, but like I thought Emperor's Soul did a really good job. The first Mistborn book. Like I'm not saying that Brandon Sanderson's a bad writer. I really want to be clear. I just think that like this is a miss for me.
Yeah, and which I think is totally valid. I think that my low is that nothing kind of came out of the final chapter 35. Like that chapter to me felt like it was supposed to get the ball rolling and it like barely made a dent.
Kind of because it reset Vivenna to when she first got to town. She doesn't have... maybe she goes to the Idrians.
It reveals Denth being the bad guy,
Yeah.
but like we have no context for who, what, why, how, when, where, whatever the fuck it is.
I agree.
And so that was just very frustrating to me. And so I think that was my low, because I wanted more from that part, you know, being so far in the book. I had an expectation for it. I did. And maybe that is on me, but it's my low.
That also could have come from Vash at the beginning of the chapter, not necessarily in the Denth part. One of those two conversations needed to have context.
Yeah.
And neither of them did, which made it more frustrating.
Yes. Yeah. If we'd learned more about Vasher instead, if we had any information.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. What's your high?
The conversation between Ciri and Sisebron in bed with the charcoal. I thought that sequence was really well written. I like that it ends with them really
There's a couple great ones.
touching for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean the one where they end up walking,
the
long one where they end up walking over to the balcony, which I did not know until that chapter that they had a balcony.
They had a balcony. Like the one where he's like, "No, you're beautiful."
Yeah, but that's the less interesting part for me.
I know.
For me, it was the
just trying to order the conversations in my head because some of them are similar.
The you don't believe in me.
Yeah.
If I am a god and my wife doesn't believe in me, what am I? I thought was such an interesting idea. And I wish that this book was more about that.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it a lot in book club because this book kind of isn't really about it.
Kind of glazes over.
It's just this really interesting idea in a book that doesn't feel like it has room to explore that fully.
Yeah.
And so I would love a book that's more about that concept. But I don't think that's what we're going to get here. I think we're going to get a lot of action moving forward to kind of wrap this up because we don't have enough book left to like to have an essay on that thesis. And I think that this book brings up a lot of theses, but it hasn't done the like middle of the essay. And so I think that we're going to kind of skip to the end on some stuff and it's going to feel a little bit rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I'm worried the end of this book is going to feel rushed to me. That it's going to feel like, oh, there's the weight of all of the stuff that we've set up will crash together in a way that kind of happened with Elantris, right? Like the finale of Elantris there were a lot of elements of it that didn't quite make sense because it felt like it was too hectically kind of starting with the like, oh, we're attacking a month early for some reason that never gets explained, right?
Yeah.
Like the Elantris literally could have done more in that month to like deal with some things before it all happens in one day.
Yeah.
But that book was like, and then this day, blah, and I'm worried this book is going to have a similar like, oh my god, it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to get to Stormlight. I think that like, although
what
you showed me a TikTok.
I did?
Yeah, that was someone like reading The Way of Kings, and they were like, I am 1,200 pages into this book. And nothing has happened. Why did you make me read this book talk? And so I'm really curious what we're going to think of Way of Kings. Just because that one TikTok. Like, I don't know what it means. I don't know what, like, doesn't happen in the first 1,200 pages of Way of Kings. I can't believe there's 1,200 pages in Way of Kings.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious as we get out of this book into that, like, why that TikToker felt that way and if we're going to feel similarly.
Or if the TikToker was just trying to farm engagement by saying a thing.
Yeah.
Because it's TikTok. You know,
TikTok being awful as usual. I mean, I'm not. Here's the one thing I promise. Mean. I'm not going to have my opinion swayed by anybody else. If I did, I wouldn't have such insane opinions that nobody else has.
That's true. When I can change his mind, it is a rare win.
No, you've changed my mind a lot off stream.
Yeah. Okay.
On
screen, it's a big win.
Yeah. All right. If you like this podcast, go give us 5 stars somewhere. Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen. If you don't,
stars.
Come to the YouTube and hit that dislike button. Leave me comments down below because the algorithm goddess hungry. We must feed her this episode. That algorithm goddess is
Nightblood.
I would have not gendered Nightblood as feminine, but okay.
You know what?
I like how open-minded you are.
There is a whammon holding a sword on the cover, and that's what we went with. That's what we went with.
If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Do something nerdy tonight. All right,
and
Clarus.
Before we go, make sure you're subscribed to the Roleplay Relay channel because Candela Obscura Episode 1 drops in 5 days.
What? 5 days?
5 days.
But babe, I have to edit it.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
But it looks so good.
I'm going to have a heart attack.
No.
Yeah, probably.
You're too young for that.
I am not as young as you think I am.
Really?
If you have the time, I'm going to commission yet one more chapter. Can I? Fine.
In this section? Yeah. Yeah, Arzu, we can make that happen.
Get that to us quick, though, so that we know. Because, is it early or late?
Yeah. Is it like the next chapter?
Because if it's 36...
Because we may audiobook on the way to Osteo.
Yeah, you need to tell us immediately, Arzu.
We must know.
Nightblood is they, them, that. I love that.
I mean, that, yeah.
I love that for them. Clarice, do you want to add some smut to this book? Code 76, if you want to commission a chapter, you send us $100.
Basically.
And then we will react to the
go
chapter.
through Arzu. Look, Arzu, we
You
should...
talk to Arzu.
We should honestly send Arzu a cake. Arzu does a lot of work putting
okay.
together... Well, we sent Monkey a cake.
Arzu, tell us what your favorite cake is, and we will send you a full cake.
Well, also
if
only if you're comfortable giving out your address. That I want to be very clear. That,
do we already have Arzu's address?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. But Arzu puts together a lot of stuff for book club, including the chapter reactions. I don't know. Arzu, I think maybe...
Arzu also reminds me when I miss people's messages.
Yes. Everyone needs Arzu in their life.
No need. I'm in Belgium?
Do they not have cakes in Belgium?
No, they're not allowed.
What?
Yeah, they only have Belgians.
They have good chocolate over there. Honestly, fuck, the chocolate over here sucks. Arzu, how much money for you to send us chocolate?
Code 76, most people commission us through PayPal.
Yeah.
But you have to talk to Arzu first.
Yeah, to make sure that no one's doubling up on anything.
A, that no one's doubling up, and also so that someone knows that it's coming, because guys, I want to be real honest. Mm-hmm. I appreciate all of your messages. I really do. I try to get back to as many people who DM me as possible. The truth is, I get so many messages and emails from people, and it's so sweet. It is so sweet, and I will try. If I miss your message, it is literally just that, we get... If I don't reply to your comments on YouTube, it's because there's 300 comments a day minimum.
Yeah.
And I just can't.
Yeah.
And that's if a video isn't doing well.
Yeah.
We've gotten to a point now where, I understand why celebrity, and not that we're celebrities, but why small time celebrities even, like Critical Role or someone like that can't engage as much, because there's a point where the number of red bubble numbers on my phone just gets so overwhelming mentally.
Sure. Yeah. I 100% feel you.
And so I'm sorry if I don't reply to everything. I do try. I'm not in the YouTube comments as much anymore because people just are constantly trying to spoil us, but
people are still mad about Attack on Titan, and it's just not worth it.
Well, and I know that people are posting spoilers. Okay, 43. I know that people are posting spoilers for One Piece and my One Piece reactions, and it's fuck.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, the death threats are a bit much. So don't send death threats. It's not cute.
Yeah, we are trying our best to balance things out. We've been a little overworked and busy.
It's our own fault. We've overcommitted.
It's us.
The number of reactions we put out a week is slowing down. I don't know if you've noticed. Probably because my channel is gonna also slow down once X-Men's done.
Yeah.
But
we want to do more streaming stuff, more stuff where we can talk to you guys. Where it's
I want to get back to streaming, and so we're cutting back on reactions. Partially because when we post too many reactions, we actually do worse. Weirdly.
Yeah.
So there's never going to be more than 3 reactions a week on the channel.
And also you guys keeping up with the content. There's only so many hours in the day for you guys to watch shit. It's we can't expect. Yeah, and so it's why Dragonlance is gonna be a little shorter now.
Dragonlance is gonna be under 2 hours every week.
Yeah. There's so many things out there, and we know that you guys also have a life, and we don't want to take up all of your time, and we would like to have a little more time to fucking chill. So
Jonathan O'Neill's there were so many things posted yesterday on Patreon. There were not that many. There were 5 videos posted on Patreon yesterday. 5? I think 5.
That's a lot.
X-Men Season 1, Episode 9. The audiobook reaction. Fallout Season 1, Episode 5. But X-Men and Fallout both go live today. This is why, starting after... I'm not adding another show when X-Men ends. I'm just going to be doing Delicious and Dungeon and One Piece till the end of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do 2 reactions a day, even on separate channels, unless it's a trailer.
Yes. Yes.
What were the other things I posted yesterday? I posted a Has-Been Hotel Episode 5.
Delicious in Dungeon?
And Delicious in Dungeon.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
And here's the thing, Embers, we so appreciate the comments, because everything helps. It really is. And sometimes we do see them, and sometimes we have responded to them, but, Yeah. There's just a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, I posted 2 episodes of One Piece yesterday because I was behind.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's like 3 because the Tales of the Empire were separate. It's like 2 days ago I posted like 4 videos. Yeah, I want to slow down a little bit. I'm reacting to too much stuff. And the problem is that like people keep commenting that they want like me to react to everything. Like every single anime, there's somebody asking me to react to it. And I'm like, I don't want to let people down. But I'm also like burnt out on reacting. And so I need to slow down or else I'm just going to like stop enjoying this.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out a better balance. You know what I mean? Like there's this whole content creation thing has been a wild ride, and we love a lot of it, but we want to put more time into the things that like really bring us joy, and that we want to do more of, like, you know, the like Candela. We're so excited for Candela, guys. I hope you guys are excited too. Like it's a really fun story. It's like dark and it's horrific, but like the characters are really cool. Everybody showed up and did such a cool job, like such a good job. I think
it was fun.
Yeah.
I hope that you guys like it. It's going up Wednesday at 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for everyone who wants to know, the time our videos is going up is going to change. We are going to move our videos earlier because there are Europeans who get the videos at like midnight. So
we might experiment with posting
our
earlier.
videos for the next few weeks are going to go up at 4 p.m. Eastern time instead of 6. We talked about this yesterday.
We said we were going to do earlier, but I thought the time was going to be open to whenever we like got it up.
Oh, I thought we were doing well, no, but that's with new stuff. But our videos are going to go live. Videos that are like pre-done will go up at 4 because that's the time that like my channel Nerdy, those will go up at 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I know a couple people are waiting to hear about the Expanse stream. That will likely be in June.
Yeah.
Just because
we're going back to LA to see the Critical Role live show.
Yeah. There's like a couple like just a couple things that if we do it on Saturday, we kind of have to. There is like we kind of have to slot it in between filming Dragonlance because we can't do it on a day that we're filming Dragonlance stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's probably going to be in June. We will give you guys a heads up so that you know. You can like plan ahead and whatever it is. But the Expanse stream will be happening. I promise. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
Also, someone said more Fallout, please. Fallout will continue to be every Friday. It's Fallout Fridays until the end of the month because it's basically going to be Fallout every Friday. And then the Friday after Fallout ends on our channel will be Acolyte. So
right, yes, because it lines up. We talked about speeding it up, but it's just
if we speed things up, then we're just gonna have blank weeks because we don't want to add stuff in May because we have some cosplays we have to build. We just can't add anything right now. So Fallout will be every Friday. Has-Been will be every Tuesday.
Yeah.
We've actually finished it. We've actually watched the end of Has-Been.
Has-Been, yes. We still have to watch Fallout, but yeah.
We are done with Has-Been. It's fine. And so those reactions will go up every Tuesday, Fallout every Friday, and then Has-Been will end on June 4th.
Yeah, I was like, what?
The day Acolyte comes out, and so then in June, the 3 shows we're going to be reacting to on the main channel will be
Acolyte,
The Boys, Acolyte, and
House of the Dragon. Yeah, those are the 3 big drops in June.
And that'll probably be our summer. We probably won't add any reactions other than trailers and
the movies.
Patreon movie night.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
Clarice, add some smut. Where would you have sex in here?
Right. We were doing smut corner. Where would I add some
Jules fucked a zombie.
Yeah, apparently. Vivenna actually goes into a brothel out of curiosity and then is like, oh, this rocks. You know what? This fucks.
You know what I think? I think Vivenna's a lesbian.
Oh.
I think she thinks she's attracted to Parlin because she thinks she's supposed to be. But I think Vivenna is actually just a raging lesbian. I think it's why Jules is the one that she kind of confronted. I think that like she is.
Yeah.
I think she hates to tell her for its heteronormative standards.
Yeah. Where are all the lesbians?
Yeah, so she just wants to munch some carpet and, really
Or maybe they shave here. I don't know. I don't know what the what the fashion standards are for pubic hair.
Do you think that you could, like, if someone had long enough pubes, could you awaken a couple so that they could tickle the clit?
So can you awaken hair? Is that like a thing?
I don't know.
Because
could Vivenna, using her magic royal hair, lengthen her pubes and have it, like, jerk her off?
I mean, I don't know if she can have it be like active while it's attached. Well, I don't know. But she can definitely grow them out. She could have pubes.
Just like a couple
to her
of
ankles.
pubes down there, just like vibrating on the clit. That could be real fun.
She could have like armpit hair all the way to the floor, like a train. You know what I mean? Not everybody. Here's the thing. That would be such a like symbol of royalty because no one else can like grow their hair on command, right? So if you just have like hairs, like if you look like what's the like McDonald's character that's just hair? If you look like that, that's like a pretty dead giveaway, you know?
Yeah, maybe she could like grow her hair out long enough that she could use it to like repel the wall and get into the castle. She could like reverse Rapunzel.
Yeah, maybe. You know what?
Just give me that reverse Rapunzel.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, Jules is a necrophiliac.
Last I see the light.
Although, is it necrophilia if there is a breath inside of the dead person?
Yeah, no, that's a corpse.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
I think it's
move.
a necrophiliac's dream.
Here's the thing. The corpse can't consent, so it's necrophilia. We're going to go with that. You know what I mean? You good?
No, I'm really still thinking about that super long armpit hair. I don't like it.
Oh, no? You don't
And
like it like blowing in the wind?
No, I'm not.
Because sometimes my hair gets caught under my armpit and it's like...
Yeah, but that's not armpit hair.
Fair, yeah.
I don't like armpit hair.
Oh, okay. Why don't you shave?
Because I get really bad...
you get razor burn.
Rashes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If I could laser everything from my beard line down, I would. I don't like body hair very much. It's a texture thing. It's autism. I just react really poorly to razors.
It's a good thing you don't have a lot of chest hair.
That would drive me crazy. Yeah. I would have a big problem with it. I'm more okay. Like weirdly, like if the like a person I'm with has body hair,
that's less.
It bugs me less than if I have body hair. It's more my own that I don't like.
Yeah, I hear you.
Although, like, I was with a guy one time who had a lot of chest. I did not like it.
And you're like, you know what?
There's too much chest hair. And for the people who love it, power to you. I don't like it.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if I was wearing a shirt, I could feel my chest hair rubbing against the fabric.
The one time I tried shaving, the stubbling really, like... The feel of being able to feel the stubble of my chest. I've never shaved again because the feel of my stubble growing out of my armpits and my chest was the most uncomfortable feeling in the world to me. And I thought that I was losing my mind.
You could laser it.
Yeah, it's just expensive. And if it doesn't go well, it's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, it'll kind of just be half there.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I've come to terms with my body hair. This is the least sexy smut corner ever.
Yeah, necrophilia and body hair.
Do you think... Okay, smut corner prediction time. Do you think that Cesebron and Siriana fuck by the end of the book?
No, I don't, actually.
This is yet another Brandon Sanderson book without a healthy depiction of sex.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like, just based on what I have read so far, like, I don't think that they actually, like, do the deed in this book.
All right.
But also, like you said, like, he needs to figure out some shit. He needs to figure who he is.
I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the internet meme that was the blue waffle?
Yeah.
Do you think that happens to women when they're fingered by blue fingers?
No.
Okay.
Because the ink has already stained the fingers. I don't think it's going to transfer again.
I don't know.
Depends how strong
some people call
ink is.
Some people call it the blue waffle. I call it that Veruca salt pussy. You know what I mean?
That is a child.
Well, no, just because she eats the thing and she blows up and she's big and blue.
Yeah, no, yeah. I just mean that's fucking weird. Don't do that.
Okay. Trying to make a joke. Didn't work.
Hey, I still laughed. What? You want me to laugh at your jokes more?
Yeah, I want you to laugh at my jokes, but most of the time when you're laughing, I feel like you're laughing at me.
No.
Like, I don't really think you laugh at my jokes as much as you think that I'm funny to laugh at. I'm sort of like your court jester rather than your funny husband.
Wow. That seems like you problem.
He's always using fresh ink. That's my point, Jalen. That's how you get a yeast infection. Is you get that yink in that yink in that yussy.
That yink.
That yink in that yussy. Anyway, that's where we're gonna end. Yink in the yussy. If you want to say thank you to somebody, say thank you to our mods, particularly Arzu. Thank you for running book club for us. We will see you all next time.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Farewell.
Do something nerdy tonight.
Get out of here.